Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to get you styled up with Stitch Fix. Shopping's hard. It's hard. With Stitch Fix, you get a stylist, though, who understands your style, your size, your budget, and they do all the shopping for you.
Wow.
This is excellent. Shopping, I'm telling you, shopping and figure out your style, it's overwhelming. Let somebody help you when it comes to getting dressed. We don't know what we're doing, so we let Stitch Fix help us out. A Stitch Fix stylist there. They know what works on us. We get the prices that make us look really good, and it feels good. You get some confidence boost walking around knowing that you're looking decent here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we just give the stylist our sizes, style, budget preferences. We order boxes when we want, how we want, no subscription or any of that required. And they send called Just For Me pieces as well. Like, maybe you'd like this, and it's awesome. Outfit recommendations, styling tips. You keep what you love, you send back the rest. It's super easy.
Yep.
You can do it, and we are doing it because it's excellent. Personal styling for everyone. Get started today at stitchfix.com/STM. That's stitchfix.com/STM.
Now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show and tell you about Noom. Has Noom helped you? I believe it has.
Oh, that's got an app. You can do tracking. It's terrific.
It does. And Noom builds personal plans that can meet individual needs. That's the thing. Takes into account any dietary restrictions, medical issues, other personal needs. That helps build a plan that works for you. And yes, so I know that you've had your own personalized program here that you've been working on. And
it's weight loss This is weight loss results that last. They stick around because you get yourself into a lifestyle change. That's what matters.
That's mainly it. You can't just say, I'm going to cut that out for a month and then go back to it. That's not what it is. So I'm glad it's helping you. That's great. And it really does. I like the psychology and biology-based approach here. Yeah. Noom Weight uses psychology. That's why they say losing weight starts with your brain, but it also takes into account your unique biological factors, Jimmy. All of your multitude flora and fauna that goes on inside of you there.
Sure. Yeah.
Stay focused on what's important to you with Noom's psychology and biology-based approach. Sign up for your trial today at Noom.com, Noom.com here. Based on 3.5-year study of actively engaged Noom users with minimum starting BMI of 25. Individual results may vary. Visit our website for more information.
Thumbtack presents the ins and outs of caring for your home. Out, procrastination, putting it off, kicking the can down the road. In, plans and guides that make it easy to get home projects done. Out, carpet in the bathroom. Like, why? In, knowing what to do, when to do it, and who to hire. Start caring for your home with confidence. Download Thumbtack today.
This week, in Darby, Montana, a twisted plot and fear campaign results in a vicious murder that shocks everyone around until they find out what really happened. At that point, shocked doesn't even begin to describe it. Welcome to Small Town Murder. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Small Town Murder.
Yay!
Yay, indeed, Jimmy. Yay, indeed. My name is James Pietragallo.
Yeah.
I'm here with my injured partner.
I'm Jimmy Whisman.
There you go. Thank you, folks, so much for joining us. Jimmy has like a weird, strained, like a inflamed some shit in his rib cage.
Costco arthritis.
And it hurts him to lay. He bought it at Costco. It was a good price, and he got a lot of it for cheap, so he was pretty happy about it. But other than that,
when you eat the meatballs with horse in them.
Oh, damn it.
It locks you up.
Don't buy those. He ate one of those big muffins and just blew them up. So that's what happens here. So it hurts him to laugh, so it's going to be fun today.
It's going to be a great day.
I'm going to try to knock him off his chair. That's the goal here. So thank you guys for joining us, of course. We'll go through the top of the show very quickly here. Your reviews help us a ton. Thank you for those. Apple Podcasts, that purple icon, give us 5 stars. It does not matter what you say, but it helps the show, helps drive us up the charts. You do need to head over to shutupandgivememurder.com.
Yeah.
Immediately,
right now.
As a matter of fact, all sorts of stuff there. Everything crime and sports and small town murder. And crime and sports, if you haven't checked it out yet, this is a good week to start because it's a murdery episode on there. So it's more like a small town murder than a crime and sports. There's like 5 minutes of sports in the whole thing in 2.5 hours. So check that out right now and do that. But everything up there, including get your tickets to the virtual live show, October the 29th. And we found out, we didn't know this last week when we were plugging it, it's up for 2 days after the fact. So if you can't do it on that Thursday, you can still do it.
48 hours.
48 hours afterwards. So do that. It is going to be the all-violent felon edition of the prisoner dating game. 4 bachelors, 4 lucky bachelorettes. Well, I guess the bachelors are lucky, too. It's not just the bachelorettes. Everybody's lucky. They're all in prison, and we find their dating profiles. And what I do is I present him with 4 of each, and he doesn't get to see them or know what they did.
Right.
All he gets is their pitch and on their dating profile, and then he picks...
I'll figure out who's...
Picks a lucky man, a lucky lady, and then that Jimmy would like to be with. And then at the end of it, we will show him. You'll, of course, see the pictures ahead of time, so you'll know what he's in for. And you won't know what they did, though, until the end. And it is hilarious to watch Jimmy find out who he picked. It is awesome. So check that out. ShutUpAndGiveMeMurder.com.
Avoid the pervert.
Avoid the pervert. Avoid the pedophile.
Yeah.
Also, this week, Patreon is cooking this week.
Yeah.
We have bonus episodes this week for both Crime and Sports and Small Town Murder, and you'll get access to both with your Patreon donation. Crime and Sports is going to be all about sports like team songs. I don't mean songs about the team. I mean that the actual guys, giant meatheads that they crammed into a recording booth.
Much more embarrassing.
Hilarious. We talk about that. And Small Town Murders is amazing. It's 3 young ladies in this isn't in 1900 either. This is like a few years ago. Decided they wanted to resurrect Jack the Ripper. So they, with one lucky young man and an axe. Wow, is it an interesting story? We'll tell you all about it. Very Halloween-y, so check that out. Patreon, it's patreon.com/crime and sports, if I can remember it. And if you just want to be a wonderful person and have good karma, you can donate on PayPal. That is, you can use our email address, crimeandsports@gmail.com. Quickly, disclaimer, it's a comedy show. That's all it is. It's a comedy show. It's also a show where we tell a true story. We don't make it up for comedy. There's no effect like that. But funny things happen around crazy murders. That's the weird thing. It's not funny, the actual, if someone's dismembering somebody, that's not hilarious.
It's horrible.
But what led up to it a lot of times... pretty crazy stuff. So we stick to that. We go out of our way not to make fun of the victims or the victims' families.
Why?
Because we're assholes, but we're not scumbags.
That's a good one.
So if that works for you, we are going to have a blast. If you think that jokes should never be anywhere in a true crime story and you're more of a Dateline person, hey, more power to you.
You're allowed.
Maybe this won't be for you, but maybe it will be. I think I would give it a shot. But no complaining later is what we're getting at. We warned you ahead of time. There are jokes. So for everybody else that can't wait to hear a wild story, I need you to sit back, clear the lungs, and shout, "Shut up and give me murder!" Let's do this, Jimmy.
I can't wait.
Let's go on a trip.
I'm already riveted.
Oh, baby. We're going somewhere we have not been in a long time here. We are going all the way to Montana. It's been a long-ass time. Darby, Montana, to be in particular, which I have never heard of.
No, me neither.
Didn't know that existed.
That was my grandparents' old roommate, though.
Darby? Or Montana?
She was as big as Montana, but her name was Darby. She's a big lady.
I nicknamed her Darby Montana because she's big as all the town. All the whole town. This is on the western border of Montana. Like the county it's in sticks out like its own little panhandle. It's like smooth, and then this little jutted thing sticks out here. It's about an hour and 15 minutes to Missoula. If you want to go to, a mid-size... small town.
The metropolis of Montana.
Yeah, about 4 hours to Spokane, Washington.
Oh.
It's actually closer to Spokane than it is to stuff on the other side of the state, like Billings and all that. So it's interesting, and about 5 hours to Stamford, Montana, which was our last episode 86, in September of 2018.
A double-digit show.
It's been 2 years since we've handled Montana. People have requested, and just some of the less populated states tend to just get a little less listens because people aren't from there, they've never been there. I don't know why the hell that would matter. Either way, I don't know. It wouldn't matter to me at all if I've been to
any of these places.
I just want to hear a crazy story. It doesn't matter. But so we've kind of avoided Montana. But we're back now. This is in Ravalli County. And just my brain makes it look like Ravioli County. So I just want to say it's Ravioli County, Montana, which would make me so happy. I want to live in Ravioli County, don't you?
No matter where it is.
No matter where. I live in Ravioli County. I feel like I would feel just like a good full,
all the time.
You want to sit back with a glass of wine, smoke a cigarette, even if you don't smoke, because you're just full and you've had sauce and cheese.
Even before you've eaten.
Yeah. You're just like,
hold on, let me have my before meal smoke.
Ravioli. You got to have like a Sambuca afterwards to relax. So the area code here, 406. It's a tiny, tiny little town. It's one of these little tiny town centers and then a bunch of big spread out ranches out there. Yeah. So the town is only 0.63 square miles.
Oh.
The motto here for this town, I got to give it to them. It's honest.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's really fluffy and sometimes it's just bullshit marketing.
Yeah.
This is pretty honest.
Yep.
Quote, even we don't know why the fuck we're out here. That's pretty honest. I got to give it to them.
Yeah.
Or you could just say, there's not enough of us to even have a motto. What do we care?
I mean, if they had a motto and they put it on the side of the freeway for the exits, one could say you're almost, and then the next one could say you just missed it.
You just and it's gone. And next sign. .. You missed it. Fucking gone. 4 signs.
We're already out.
And you're out. That's it. See those ranches?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. So the name of the town.
Welcome to Come Back Again.
Yeah. That's funny. The word Darby, I guess, is Salish. It's some sort of native language from.
Oh, okay, got it.
In that language, it means place where they would lift something, or either that or they call it. I don't know what
that makes a lot of sense.
Or they call it Salish. I'm not sure.
One of my grandparents' roommates' name was Darby.
They could.
You would need to lift her.
Well, I was going to say that it would be hard to lift her.
Yeah,
a
place where we need to lift.
Well, for her, that would be like what a car lift. I don't know. Yes. I feel bad. I don't know this woman.
She was, and you know what?
We're not making. I feel bad making fun of this woman.
I feel bad too, but I kind of.
How long ago was this?
30 years. She was. She was.
We're talking
bitch,
about.
Man. She was so mean.
Oh, okay. Well,
she was so mean to me.
Well, yeah. I get it.
I remember being 8, being like, why do they have this fat bitch living down there?
That's one thing.
So mean.
When you're a child and an adult is mean, whatever physical attribute they have, that's a bad physical attribute. Right. She could have been gorgeous and you were like, look at her in her tits. What a bitch. You know what I mean? You would have still hated her. It wouldn't have mattered. You would have,
She was just a salty.
You know what? I hate blondes with big boobs. That's what you would have for the rest of your life. I just hate them. Just don't like them. So not that you're against overweight people.
But she lived in the basement that was finished. It was beautiful. And whenever I'd stay there, they'd have me go down and stay in the basement in the second bedroom. And she'd be down there and I'd be watching TV and she'd just be bitching. Turn that down. Turn it off. And I'm like, I'm 9, bitch. Shut up.
Leave me alone. I'm watching Hulk Hogan body slam
You're
somebody.
45 and you live with my grandparents.
In a basement.
What are you doing?
Yeah. You don't belong here.
Figure it out.
You're not their child.
They're my grandparents, not yours.
You're not their child. Do you get that? Jesus. So from the website here, it says this is their pitch.
Yeah.
From the which, by the way, it says Darby on the website. It's like the most standard brand. Somebody went on the most basic website building site and we're like, I did it. It says Town of Darby official website. Perfect. On the top. It's not even caring. Located in the spectacular Bitterroot Mountains of western Montana. Spectacular.
Yeah.
The town of it is a beautiful, if you like that big open space shit. I can't stand that shit, but if you're into that, I feel claustrophobic the more open everything is. I'm like, there's just too much
of it.
It's
kind of a panic too. Like, holy shit.
There's just too much of it. It's like if you're in the middle of the ocean, it feels the same way. And you can't see land. It's
open water.
There's just too much of it. I feel the same way in Montana.
Open water with open land.
I'm going to drown out here. If there was an earthquake and a crack opened and I fell in it, no one would notice. There's no one around. I'd just die in a hole in the earth.
It's too much air. I can't breathe.
It's too much. Too much air. I can't see with all the sky. It's just too much.
Yeah.
Can't take it.
It's weird too when things are wide open like that for me because you can see a storm coming, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, for miles.
From forever
I don't
away.
See
it's
that.
Weird.
It's ominous and shit. No.
It's bizarre.
Screw that. So Darby hosts national sporting competitions while supporting top resorts, locally unique shopping, dining, and manufacturing businesses, along with an excellent school district. You can easily call Darby home.
Yeah.
It's mostly a tourist town, by the way.
Of course.
It's kind of like, it seems like it's got the same vibe as for the non-ranchers, for the people who are buying houses from the outside, it's almost like an Aspen type of thing.
Okay.
Not that they're skiing, but it's like or like Wyoming.
It's attractive for people to get away.
Yeah, there's towns in Wyoming like that where you can go, like some CEO can like go play rancher for the fucking weekend because he bought 200 acres, you know what I mean?
Listen,
I have horses out there, you know?
David Letterman goes to Montana.
That's what I mean. It's what it's like.
Where the rich fucks go and they're like, I rough it. No,
I'm a cowboy, you know? Yeah. I have a $14 million estate.
Right.
I go out there to rough it.
Sure, there's 30 people here to wipe my ass and make sure I don't get by fucking rattlesnakes.
Yeah. I mean, if the horse is dirty, they'll like clean it off before I get on it. I don't want to get all dusty and shit. Don't get me wrong. But still.
I'm not feeding the fucking thing.
Yeah, it's endless recreational opportunities for outdoor enthusiasts. Darby offers you and your family, all of you, a part of the West that you will never forget. Hope to see you soon. So it's first settled in 1882. It's the valley's southernmost town here. It was originally called something way more ridiculous than Darby's a fine name for a town. Doolittle. That was the name of the town. You can't call your town Doolittle.
Yeah.
D-O-O, too, like doctor. Not.
Yeah, that's weird.
It's not good, no. Who's going to Doolittle, Montana? That sounds fucking... You have to take like a turnip truck there, it sounds like. That's really silly. Then they changed the name to Harrison.
Okay.
So they were like, all right, Harrison, that's... A lot of towns named Harrison. That's a good, strong name. But then they realized it was already a town in Montana named Harrison. There was a bunch of confusion with the mail. It was a disaster.
You don't look.
Yeah. So then the local postmaster, James Darby, sent his name in.
Oh.
And was like, just call it name it Darby.
There you go.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Well, there was like nobody there. So it's like, it doesn't matter. We're going through a lot of shit for what the name of this tiny little building that letters are going to come in and out of. You're going to get your bills from.
It's hilarious that they didn't even check to see if there's another town in the state.
They just nailed up Harrison
It's
up
a fucking
there.
President.
Yeah.
There's one.
Nobody's naming it after that. They thought of Washington. They were like, come on. No.
Got to get down the list of presidents to get to Harrison. There's probably not one.
No, right? He didn't last long. So the name was accepted, and it was fine. So at the time, the town had a general store, a saloon, a stable, and a boarding house. So it was your typical, like, movie Old West town with the wooden planks and all that shit. The town grew at times, and they got a bank and a drugstore and a newspaper and a theater and all this type of shit. So it became like somewhere that you could live and not be, out on an island. So the big thing happened. Fire happened in 1910 and destroyed everything. Just everything here. Fucking gutted things. It says here that I found a newspaper account of it, and it says that, let's see here. Where is it? Okay. A holocaust of wildfire, they called it. Holocaust. Wow. Destroyed more than 3 million acres of forest and burned 4 towns. Fuck.
They're close with the number.
Wow. The effects are still being felt. On August 20th, winds of hurricane force swept out of the Snake River Plains to fan to life an estimated 1,730 smoldering fires in Montana, northern Idaho, and eastern Washington. Holy shit.
Almost 2,000 fires from the Snake River.
Well, yeah, the winds came and swept it. 85 people died.
Unbelievable.
Were taken by the flames because it happened so fast. They couldn't get away. They just got, like a flood. It was like a flood of fire.
That's terrifying.
It's fucking terrifying. That's why the West is terrifying here. So a bunch of towns got destroyed. Wallace, Idaho, and then in a bunch of Haugen, Taft, a bunch of other towns in Montana, totally destroyed. So that's not great, obviously. It ended up switching to kind of logging and cattle ranching and agriculture after a while, became the main deal here. Let's see. Darby had the first all-woman council in the state in 1930.
That's awesome.
Yeah, 1930 that happened. So that's pretty ahead of its time there a little bit, you know? Not bad. Good for them. 1917, Darby became incorporated. They elected a blacksmith their first mayor. They got electricity in 1932. A little late to the game on that, fellas.
I thought so, yeah.
Wow. I mean, they had to run it out there, but holy shit, 1932?
That's using candlelight for a long time.
By 1920, if we don't have lights, I'm moving. I'm sorry. Like, I get that it was the West, we had to wait a while, but there's people dancing the Charleston and fucking, like, drinking all night and, partying and... No.
What year did the Titanic go down?
I'm living like it's the Postman, for Christ's sake. 1912, 1914?
And it had electricity on a fucking boat.
On a boat. There's electricity everywhere. By 1932... everybody has electricity. This is bonkers for it to not have electricity. And they got a water system in 1959. Jesus Christ, didn't get they got sewage and a sanitary lagoon in 1963.
Gross.
That sounds like the most disgusting.
That's a leaching field.
It's a shit pit.
Yeah.
It sounds absolutely hideous. Hideous.
I hope that is so far from town.
I'm fucking grossed out already. You can smell that.
There's a trench, because there's no tubes back then, right?
No, it was a goddamn pit, and I'm sure they had some kind of, I don't know.
Just go throw the bucket in it?
Shit in the hole. Just shit in the hole and save us all some time.
Save us all a walk.
Jesus Christ. Just walk on over, shit into the hole directly, so I have to dump the damn bucket, you lazy motherfuckers. So, the film Disorganized Crime was filmed here.
Have I seen that?
You have seen it, I'm sure. 1989. It's a 1989 comedy, so I know you've seen it.
Judge Reinhold? No.
It is Fred Gwynn, who is Herman Munster, and obviously Lou Diamond Phillips, Lou Diamond Phillips, Oklahoma. Corbin Burnson, Ed O'Neill.
I definitely saw
Daniel Roebuck, and Hoyt Axton.
My God, I got it. I'm going to rewatch it.
Yeah, it's not a good movie, but it's one of those movies we would have seen as kids because it's got a bunch of people we recognize, and it's silly, kind of funny.
And they would have put it in the theaters with all those people in it. It was
it
had like a marketing campaign and all that.
Oh, it had commercials, definitely. I remember the commercials. Poor reception by critics. Siskel and Ebert gave it 2 thumbs down.
Okay.
Not great. They said lack of detail given to the heist plan. That's never going to work in a heist movie. It's a comedy.
Ed O'Neill.
What
are you doing? You can't review this in the same caliber as you're reviewing The Godfather.
It's not Ocean's 11.
Right.
It's fucking, you know what I mean?
It's a clowny-ass goofball movie.
Stupid. They also said that it relies on slapstick and cornball barnyard humor.
Sounds great.
When we were 10, that would have been... This
awesome.
is beautiful. Yeah. Perfect. Frequency of chase scenes and moments where characters fall in mud and manure. That sounds pretty funny. I just smiled and you laughed when I said that, so that shows where we're at.
They said it with like disdain.
Yeah.
And I'm like, great.
I said, that sounds great. I want to see people fall in manure. I want to see like a really angry guy, blah, 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 and then slip and fall in manure. That's hilarious.
I want to see a chase scene and somebody ends up in shit.
Yeah.
I want a chase scene and somebody falls in mud.
At the end of the chase is over because someone got stuck in manure.
Right.
That's what we want.
All of it.
And also Yellowstone is filmed there. That's a newer series created. It's Kevin Costner's in it.
Oh.
It sounds boring as shit.
Yeah.
Follows the Dutton family, led by John Dutton, who controls the largest contiguous ranch in the United States, under constant attack by those it borders.
What's with him with those kind of movies now?
He loves
I don't get
He's obsessed with that now. He did Dances with Wolves and won Oscars for it 30 years ago. He's obsessed with the West.
After that, he did other things.
Yeah,
and
but
then
he's always
obsessed. Back to this bullshit.
He's always obsessed with the West.
Postman.
Yeah, the Postman. He's always obsessed with the West. The Postman is wonderful, by the way. It's the worst. It's the best bad movie ever. I've seen it 100 times. It's the best bad movie ever.
I can't do it.
He has a southern accent in the beginning, and then it goes away, and he's got it in a couple of scenes. His daughter wants to, like his real life biological daughter from real life wants to fuck him in the movie. What the hell kind of shit is that? It's ridiculous.
I just don't understand his infatuation with he wants to always have just enough dust on him.
Yeah.
Just to make it
That's
so.
what I mean. He wants to have a duster.
Right.
He'd like to, have a hat accessible, not on all the time.
I get it. I know it now. Yeah. He was in Waterworld and he was like, I'm never doing anything with water in it ever again. I want it dry
only on
every day, always.
Always. So I have a couple reviews here. 3 stars, this one. Cute little town that looks like a perfect tourist area. This is exactly kind of Old West.
Yeah.
This is the Old West, and they just keep it like that. Fantastic candy store, too. Okay. Some areas look nice to live in. Unfortunately, the majority of the town could use an update as it looks a little run down. Yeah, I'm sure it is.
It's Old Westy.
Covered in dust, too. Darby is located at the very south end of the Bitterroot Valley. Here's another one. This is 5 stars. Up against the beautiful mountains, there are activities to do year-round. There is not a large selection of restaurants and bars, but everyone is very friendly. Yeah. Okay, great. The mayor probably wrote that.
They're thrilled to have you there.
They're happy as shit to have you. People in this town, population 653.
Holy shit.
It's a small, and it's remote, too, so it's not like that and then there's a town next to it.
Right.
It's just this and then nothing for a long time. So it is remote. It's up 5% since 1990. More females than males, which... 5%.
That's the lowest we've ever had.
Yeah, it's not much. 1990, there was 625 people.
Yeah.
So not too much.
Have we had them where it was like down?
Yeah, we've had down. We've had reductions, like
that's
big
reductions.
That's the
lowest influx, though.
It's just kind of stayed steady. More females is weird because it's a usually in like the ranching, logging towns, it'll be more male, but not here. So also because there's old people, so you outlive us. Right. Women are going to outlive us, especially outlive people who have been ranching for fucking 50 years. Right. You're not going to live to be 90 most of the time.
There are very few loggers. The brawny man looks great because he died young.
Well, he's only 17 years old. The brawny man. Point. He looks like he's good 38, 39, but he's only 17.
He died 4 years later.
Yeah, he's done. He's spent. The median age here is 48.1. Okay. So it's a little older. All the above 45 years old demographics are high. Mm-hmm. There's like no kids here. All the kid demographics are low. Not none, but there's way less than normal. Less married people here than normal. The household sizes are smaller. Okay. Couple people hanging out looking at the expanses, it sounds like. Single with no children is higher. All that shit. Race of this town, shockingly, 87.6% white, 0.0% black.
Not a one.
Not a one in the group here. Nary an Asian to be found either. 0.0% Asian. So there's that. 1.8% Hispanic, and you got 5.4% Native American, which is way higher than normal because this belonged to completely. This was kind of where they were hanging out at the time. So 29.3% of the people here are religious, and it's just a mix-up of different. You come out that's too much sky for a god. You know what I mean? Right. You come out here because
not even a cloud for him to sit on.
Nothing. Not a cloud. How's he going to rain thunder upon the damned and the wicked if there ain't not a cloud to rain thunder from? You know what I'm saying? How you going to do that? I don't believe it for a minute. This is like you move here when you've lost faith in everything.
Or you move there and you go, I am a god.
Or you are, you've lost faith in society, a deity, everything that you hold, you've lost faith in and you've come to here.
This is fascinating.
It's really weird here. 0.0% Jewish, obviously. 0.0% Muslim, as you might expect in this. It's not a lot of Jewish Montana ranchers going on at the moment. No politics until 2021, as we said. I'm not going to mention that. Unemployment rate here is low. It's like 3%, but I mean, most people work on their ranches and shit, so it's not like that. Household income, though, is also very low because the other jobs are all retail.
Really?
And retail trade and tourist shit, and you work in a knick-knack store selling people
magnets and bookmarks and
I was gonna say a magnet with like buffalo horns on it, like look at that, there you go, put that on your fridge.
That say Montana.
I've been to fucking Darby and survived the fire hurricane holocaust. It's perfect.
License plates without my name.
$28,203 is the median household income.
Holy shit.
Which is less than half of your normal. It's $57,652, so way less. 25% of the households make under $15,000 a year.
What?
That is. Yeah.
Is it? They give you a free house?
If you don't own land, there's not a lot you can really do.
I would say you're
to
fucked.
Make money. That's the thing. You got to get out of there. 54% of the households make $30,000 or under.
Oh my!
That's a shitload.
Do we just not know that they're up there?
They're just, they work in, like I said, they're making minimum wage, selling trinkets to tourists and shit. Some people are waiting tables
and start Etsy's and shit.
Do they need to do something? Yeah, some shit. So some. I don't know, Western blog or something. I don't know what the hell you people.
Start a YouTube.
People are going
of just a webcam aimed out the window.
That's all.
Look how big it is.
Isn't it pretty? Watch the sun. Just point it at the west. Eventually, the sun will set. People will want to watch that. That'll be pretty over the mountains.
Check in tomorrow, y'all.
There you go. Sun will be up. I think if the sun comes up, boy, it'll set. That's how it works every time. So if it is, I'll be filming it. Thank you for tuning in. Now,
I'm not even going to sign off. I'm just going to go to bed.
It's all good. Cost of living here, 100 is average par. Here it's 82, and the housing it's low, but this is like what the value is.
Right.
But none of the houses for sale are of this cost. All the houses for sale are way fucking expensive.
They're asking for money.
Yeah, the median home cost is $146,100, which is very low. But as we'll find out in the Darby, Montana real estate report.
Yeah.
We'll find out here once we're in the report that a 2-bedroom rental says is $769, but there's no rentals that I can find really available except for like nightly touristy being, Airbnb type shit. And then I found the house is 2-bedroom, 1 bath, 1,716 square feet. It looks like kind of like a rental cabin, like if you went to a lake on vacation, but it's not like a log cabin. It just looks like a structure in the woods. It's on 8 acres, $325,000.
My Christ.
For that, though. It's not a lot of house.
That's too much.
I found a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,632 square feet here. This one is a literal log cabin. It's got the, logs on the outside. It's on 33 acres.
Okay.
So that's nice. $625,000, though.
They think that David Letterman made this place a destination.
Well, the houses aren't worth shit if you have no land, but the houses with land, like outside of the town, they have a ton of land, so they're expensive.
The house is nothing. It's the land.
It's the land. Well, this one's nice. I found a 3-bedroom, 3-bath, 3,398 square foot. It looks like a castle.
Really?
It's stone. It's not like a ranch. It's got like
sandstone
turrets on the top.
Jesus.
It looks like a fucking castle. It's on a cliffside overlooking a lake. It's like the redneck version of Gore Vidal's house. Look up Gore Vidal's house, and you'll see it's the redneck version of that, basically, overlooking a lake. It's stone, 12 acres, $780,000.
Holy.
And they increased the price $230,000 in August.
What? They were going to sell it for $500.
Yep.
You know what? I'll bet they got a bunch of offers, and they were like, take it off the market.
That, or since fucking with COVID and everything, people are moving to the middle of nowhere. That might have been might have had a surge of real. There's like 10 houses available in the whole town. So
but it seems
that might
like
be it too.
It seems like the rich get richer, and when the rich get richer, everything that the rich can afford, those prices go up.
Oh, they go up big time,
and that's what's happening there.
Now, things to do here. Lager days. We don't have a ton of time to talk about it, which sucks because it's fucking hilarious.
Okay.
Let's see. This is one of the events, Jimmy. Look at this shit, Jimmy.
Well, I mean,
this is 2 redneck women on a log, standing on a log above water, beating the shit out of each other. They each have one glove on.
Yeah.
One has they each have a right glove on.
But then
the right glove's backwards on the one. They have a set of gloves. They gave one the real one, gave one a backwards glove.
Gave her a left and just flipped it over.
Punching each other right in the face.
But the Gretchen Wilson there has her fist cocked.
Oh, yeah.
And it's bare. The other one's got her hand like
she's trying to keep her balance. Look at this guy.
He loves it.
There's just this fat, like rancher-looking guy, hands clasped, sitting on the ground with an ear-to-ear, toothy smile, just like, this is the greatest fucking thing. I could watch this. I could die right now.
She was a little asshole.
Margaret, get the lawn chairs.
She's getting her what for?
Oh, my God. It is fucking hilarious.
They're both landing a pretty good shot in that picture, too.
It's wild. I'll post that picture. Don't worry. The family events here. They have a hot saw demonstration, kids choker races. I don't like the sound of that.
No.
I'm going to choke you, little bastard. Let's see who's the fastest when they're running in fear. When they're in fear for their life, I want to know which child's the fastest.
Whoever loses gets choked.
Tug of war, boxing over water competitions, which I believe that's that. I wouldn't call that boxing.
No.
Adults compete in a chainsaw toss.
No.
What? How many arms are left on the ground at the end of Lager days? A skillet toss, a loader contest, and a ma and pa race.
How do you get old in this state?
Wow. It's
everything's just an opportunity to die.
It's wild, man. Also, the Whitney Banks will be playing, and Kimberly Dunn and David Lee Murphy will be. Now, there's a few rules. It says, quote, absolutely no dogs, coolers, or outside beverages. With all those chainsaws around, I guess you don't want the dogs running around anyway. So, but unfortunately, it was the last year of it in 2019. It's discontinued.
Forever.
They're going to try to figure out a new incarnation of it, but not enough loggers around anymore, they said, literally. And then they also have the Twisted Nut Festival.
What do they do?
It's a rodeo to benefit testicular cancer. So I was like, Twisted Nut. All right. Fine.
Why would they do that?
I can't
It's
imagine.
not even like a pun on cancer. It's just, how can we make it sound like
Twisted Nut.
nuts are really suffering.
Which is the activity where you're bashing nuts into a fucking giant mammal. So it's the weirdest thing. They are twisted from doing that. Maybe you wouldn't have so much cancer if you weren't bashing them constantly.
Into the back of a horse.
The back of a horse. Not saying that causes it, but it can't help. Can't help.
It's certainly not fixing
it. It's not fixing it. Crime rate in this town.
The doctor never says, "I'm so sorry you have testicular cancer. Jump on the back of old Brutus and we'll knock it right out of there.
We'll knock those tumors right off." Property crime in this town, crime rate here, property crime right at average, so normal, which you wouldn't think because it's such a small town, but it's touristy. Now, violent crime, murder, rape, robbery, and assault, the Mount Rushmore of crime, normally low in a small town like this, we're also right at average.
Really?
So I guess with such a small population, it's like, who the fuck knows? Two violent incidences can skew the whole thing. So that said, I believe it's time to talk about a murder.
Okay.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about the safest sponsor ever, Simply Safe. Absolutely, these people will keep you safe. It's amazing. You know that every 26 seconds a burglary takes place in the United States, according to the FBI. That means that by the time this podcast is over, dozens and dozens of homes will have been targeted, ransacked. God knows what happens here. So protect your home before it's too late with Simply Safe proactive security system. Simply Safe helps stop threats before they even have a chance to break in. Named Best Home Security System by U.S. News and World Report 5 years in a row. And by us for about the last 8 years as well. If you trust us, believe me, you want Simply Safe. So visit simplysafe.com/small to claim 50% off a new system with professional monitoring plan and your first month free. That's simplysafe.com/small. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Now back to the show.
This show, Small Town Murder, is brought to you by BetterHelp. Get yourself some therapy, everybody. Honestly, here. We often hear about, red flags that you should avoid. Hey, that's a lot of a thing. It's become a real phrase now, real cliche. But why don't you focus also, you look at green flags in friends and partners. Look for good things as well.
Right.
And maybe you're not sure what that looks like, though. Therapy can help you figure that out. What are positive things? What are the green flags? And then you can practice them in your relationship. It's absolutely a fact. And so, honestly, we absolutely are huge advocates for this. It really, really helps. BetterHelp is fully online, making therapy affordable. It's convenient. They serve over 5 million people worldwide. You can access a diverse network of more than 30,000 credentialed therapists, wide ranges of specialties there. Here's the coolest part. You're not getting along with your therapist, you're just not feeling it, you can switch at any time, no extra charge.
Wow.
The thing is, they want you to get help. That's it. And you can do it with BetterHelp. Discover your relationship green flags with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/smalltownmurder today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show and tell you all sorts of good stuff about Chime. That's what I'm talking about. There's so many extra fees you have to pay in life. Everything. You go to the airline, there's an extra ticket on that. There's extra fee on every fees and fees, hotels, fees, all this type of stuff. We're trying to make progress, and the next thing you know, here comes another fee coming at you, and it's more money than you expected, and your whole math is thrown off, and it's awful. Learn more at chime.com/smalltownmurder. Chime is great with that stuff. I mean, you can't beat if your things are a little tight, especially around the holidays or after the holidays. Yeah. You need that money a couple days early, or you go grocery shopping. You got a car payment due. There's so many things that don't cross over exactly how you want them to cross over. Make progress toward a better financial future with Chime. Open your account in 2 minutes at chime.com/smalltownmurder. That's chime.com/smalltownmurder. Feels like progress. Banking services and debit cards provided by Bancorp Bank N.A. or Stride Bank N.A., members FDIC. Spot me eligibility requirements and overdraft limits apply. Boosts are available to eligible Chime members enrolled in Spot Me and are subject to monthly limits. Timing depends on submission of payment file. Fees apply at out-of-network ATMs.
And now back to the show.
Okay, let's do this here.
Okay, buckled in.
Let's go back to the mid-2000s. 2004, 2005. It's a simple time.
Good time to be alive.
Not really a simple time. It was kind of a mess at that point, too.
Houses are booming.
Yeah, it's been a mess for a while. Okay, so anyway, mid-2000s here. So just the last 200 years or so has been a little shaky.
It's a little dicey
in this country. So, no, I'm just kidding. It's anyway, 2000s, mid-2000s. We have a couple of people we'll talk about here. We'll talk about Bill and Ann. Mm-hmm. Bill and Ann are a married couple.
Okay.
Bill and Ann Stout.
Okay.
And their daughter, Sarah Cynthia Sylvia Stout, who would not take the garbage out. No, that's a. Didn't you ever read Where the Sidewalk Ends to your fucking kids? No. Jesus Christ.
I don't read books.
Oh, that's just sorry. My daughter used to make me read every single night Where the Sidewalk Ends.
Oh.
Madison, I'd read to her, and it was, it was fun. Uh-huh. And one of her favorites was Sarah Cynthia Sylvia Stout.
Oh, okay.
And we'd have to read that over and over, and she would not take the garbage out.
Shout out to you, Madison, because I was just frustrated that they just named this poor girl that.
The look on Jimmy's face was like, why would you do that to your kid, Sarah Cynthia Sylvia Stout? No, Shel Silverstein did that to a little animated
mythological character.
A little stick figure child, not stick figure, but a simply drawn child. So Bill here is born in 1957, and Ann is born in 1964. Okay. So a little bit of an age difference, but nothing too much. That's fine for couples. That's within the range. So Bill, he's born in. Bill was born in 1955. Did I say 57?
I think you did.
What the hell I was thinking there. So he was born February 28th, 1955. He is from San Jose, California originally. He's an only child back then, and he ended up moving he grew up, went to high school in Arkansas. So somehow the family ended up in Arkansas at some point, and then he ends up in Montana, where a lot of people are still in Arkansas and all that sort of thing. So he meets Ann, whom we'll talk about in a second here. They end up living in Darby, Montana. They will have 3 sons. One is Ann's from a previous marriage, and Bill will adopt him and, take him as his own and everything. Right. His name is Ben. Then they have Matthew and Noah as well, so 3 sons. Okay. Some biblical names going on there. Doubt. Hardcore. They have a 20-acre ranch at 266 Trapper Meadow Road in Darby.
He's killing it.
Not bad.
Yeah.
And he's a sheetrocker.
Really?
He's a 3rd-generation sheetrocker, apparently. But his dad before him was a sheetrocker as well. Yeah, apparently it's... it
didn't used to be a meth trade.
No, it didn't used to be a meth. It used to be like a
very
skill.
Professional thing, yeah.
I think, too, it's one of those things like old-timey plaster guys. Like, if you were good at that was a... You can see a methy wall versus an actual sheetrocker's wall. Yeah.
If you see one done right, you go, oh, wow, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And seeing it all trimmed right.
Exactly. And if they're building a lot of these fancy houses for your David Lettermans at this point in time, so I think maybe this is a good thing, a fancy house, and if you have to have a good sheetrocker here. The house that they have, it's a single-story dwelling here, but it's pretty big. It's a big, it's a ranch-style house, so it's long and whatever, on 20 acres there. It's got, it's a nice-looking house, partial basement, attached garage, big gone fishing sign on the door.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean? So they're cool here. Their cars, they have a red 2000 Ford truck and a 1995 Chevy Suburban and a horse trailer also. Okay. So, they're doing fine. They're not living above their means or anything like that. They're fine here.
All that shit's still mad expensive.
That's what I mean. And to keep a ranch is expensive to run too. Right. So it's a lot. Now Bill's into horseback riding, fishing, hunting, loves taking the horses out. That's his favorite thing. Likes going and driving them on a thing. I don't know what the fuck cowboys do, but he does stuff like that. Whatever people do out there with a hat on.
It is a lot of fun, to be honest with you.
Whatever Kevin Costner fantasizes about doing while he sits in his mansion that somebody set on fire.
Whatever Letterman's thinking of doing while he leads some guests down the pathway to plug some fucking product on his show.
Yeah, and he's just dreaming about the buffalo out on the ranch. Jesus Christ.
Go back to Ride Trigger.
No, you know it. Now, she's also from California, Ann. They didn't meet in California, but she's also just coincidentally from California. She's from a bigger household. She's from a family of 5 brothers and sisters. Okay. So, different like that. After the age of 4, Apparently her father took off, and she has had no relationship with him whatsoever.
I feel you.
So, yeah, that's not great, obviously. They ended up getting married in 1986, Bill and Ann, and in Montana. They already lived there. Like I said, she already had a child named Ben, and right away, Bill is totally up for adopting the child, and Bill seems like a good guy.
Great dude.
When it comes to this shit. Nothing really happened in the marriage. Very uneventful marriage. I mean, nothing major. No one ever got arrested. The cops never have to come. There's no affairs. There's no craziness for about the first 15 years of their marriage. It's pretty calm. 2000, though, they have a major tragedy that these tragedies, even if they're nobody's fault, it's hard for couples to go on with, you know what I'm saying? 2000, over winter break, there's Ben, her son from the previous marriage there, was a freshman in college, and he committed suicide.
Oh, no.
Over winter break. So that was that crushed them both. Because, Bill took him on as he was his son. There wasn't my stepson or any of that shit. He was his son. So it absolutely, it was hard on them. Yeah. Like I said, this is something that's it's tragic, and it happens, and people, whether it's right or wrong, your brain tries to make sense of it, and you blame somebody. You blame a thing. What about when he was 14 and you said this to him? And you're trying to do something, and it's terribly destructive.
It was
it happens.
It was winter break, so he was at home when he did it?
He was out of school. He wasn't on their property. He was out of school, and he came back there and committed suicide somewhere else. And so, it's brutal, and it was a hard thing. All the friends said it caused kind of a fracture in their relationship a little bit. For a time, they were really on kind of
course.
Who wouldn't be? That's brutal. I like I said, I don't know how. No matter how, even if you go to therapy and all that, your brain still has to process that shit, and that's something like that. A 19-year-old kid committing suicide, that's impossible to fucking process, and it's going to destroy your whole entire.
And a guy from 55, from 1955, and he moved across the country twice at least.
Yeah,
he's a guy that's you do it by yourself, you make it on your way.
He's a mountain man too. Everybody says he's a mountain man. He's a tough dude. He's a rancher and a trapper and shit. I mean, he
doesn't understand that kid's train of thought.
No, he doesn't at all. He's a rugged guy, and he blamed Anne for the suicide a lot. He blamed her for it for whatever reason. I mean, like I said, who knows what little thing made him think that? Who knows? Like I said, they might have gotten into a fight a month before, and she said something to him that Bill thought was over the line. We have no idea. I'm not going to speculate on it, but Bill blamed her, and they began to fight a lot at that point. So that was brutal. Now, Anne would say that, quote, what happened to Ben really affected us all. I dealt with it differently than Bill and our other two sons, Matt and Noah, dealt with it differently from us. But we got through it, and I thought we were a strong, happy family. Mm-hmm. So after a couple of years, like I said, that's never going to go away. That's a wound that's never going to heal, but the inflammation will calm down after a while, and you can kind of live your life and go hours without thinking about it, maybe by that point. But I would think the first couple of years, I don't know how you could go minutes without thinking about it. It would be destroy your brain. Yeah. So 2004, now they have, there's a ranch, and he's got a business, and there's a ranch, and there's kids and everything like that. So Bill does a very responsible thing and takes out a life insurance policy on himself. $500,000. Now everybody's taken care of in case he's out ranching. I mean, he could be mangled by he could be stampeded out there at any moment and thrown off a horse. You never know.
That alone, just the horse rears up.
Yeah, anything could happen. So it's a smart thing if you're going to be and sheetrocking, and I don't know, anything could happen.
He does a lot that's enough.
He does a lot that's dangerous. Yeah, he could be drowned out on a boat somewhere. Right. Some methy sheetrocker next to him could not
steps on a nail gun and it goes through his face.
It could happen. Anything is possible with meth and sheetrock. That's a something to think about always.
Keep that in mind, methies.
Yeah, and whenever you're redoing your house, think anything is possible with meth and sheetrock. Watch who's in my house, because anything can happen. It's bad stuff. Bad.
Throw a nail through an electric wire or something.
Throw a nail through a sheetrocker. Through a sheetrocker with two kids.
Right.
So the policy does include a clause that would, now I don't know if he put this in or if this was I think this is probably the insurance company assuring against this. The clause disallows payment should Bill commit suicide in the first 2 years of the policy.
Okay.
Which makes sense, because that way you can't get a policy knowing you're going to kill yourself so your family will pay off. Right. That's probably insurance companies have seen that trick once or twice.
You think so?
I don't like what's going on. Everything's going bad. I'm about to lose my business. Right. I know. I'll get a big insurance policy and then off myself, and the wife and kids will be fine. Like, people have those thoughts. So I get it.
There's probably one of those for like prisoners that tried to get life insurance policies too. Can they get one?
In prison?
Prisoner?
That's got to be a high rate, I would imagine. That would have to be like you work on a crab boat, you're in a prison.
Yeah.
You could...
Feels like Epstein would have had one.
Yeah, there's lousy medical care, so right away, like in Phoenix here, in Arizona, people die from infections from spider bites because they're not allowed to see the doctors here because they go, that's not
something we give.
Insect, they don't give medical attention for insect bites here, they say.
Sorry about that.
Even though we have tons of poisonous things crawling around.
Stay awake at night.
Yeah, stay awake at night for the brown recluses, black widows, and scorpions.
Giant scorpions.
Yeah, that if you're allergic to, good luck, because you're going to swell up like a fucking... ridiculous, dude. Yeah. It's ridiculous here. So anyway, this period of the 2 years of non-suicide payout starts in January 2005. Okay. So he can off himself in February 2007, and it's a full payout. That's how that works, I guess. I don't know. I guess they figure by then maybe you'll come out of it.
Yeah.
By then
you've rethought.
You're not as sad anymore. Maybe you've sought therapy.
Yeah. And also, 2 years is about how long it takes to rebuild a life after a devastating loss.
That's the other thing. Who knows if something bad is happening? Well, they're thinking 2 years. Let's say he's losing his business. Yeah. Well, the first year he's definitely going to want to kill himself, but then he gets another job.
Yeah.
And he starts moving up the ladder. And by 2 years, he's going, you know what? I can pay my bills.
Listen, the bills are cleared up.
I got that credit consolidated now. I got the debt relief program. It's going to be okay.
Life's pretty easy.
I'm going to come out of it here. I think I'm going to make it. So we're not making light of depression or suicidal shit. We're doing that because we both
suffer.
Yeah, exactly. So to us, we're like, hey, we get it, dude. Hey, it's a little dark.
That's
for
what
us.
It literally took me 2 years from the divorce with the financial situation I was in to get back to above board, and it's so hard.
I've gone through several zombie periods of my life, like literally.
You're like, why am I doing it?
Years where I don't even remember a lot of it because I was in a fucking haze after close friends died when things like that just destroyed me, and it's bad stuff. So anyway, 2005 comes along.
Yes.
So this Bill has just got his life insurance policy. Yep. The marriage is back on track.
Thank God.
Everybody's happy. They have 2 sons. Their son, Matt, by the way, turns out to be a pretty good athlete. Really? It looks like, from what I found. He does track and field shit in high school, and he's also a wide receiver on the football team.
Awesome.
From what I find here. He starts high school in 2005. Okay. So they have one kid starting high school. The other one is starting college soon. They start college in like 2007. So one kid starting high school, one kid at the end of high school.
Was Luke?
Noah. Noah's the older, Matt's the younger. It's another, somebody with an arc or some shit. I don't know. So early 2005, Bill gets an invitation to the wedding of an old high school friend, and it's in Arkansas. So he saw it, and he saw that like a bunch of his friends were going to be there, like high school friends, old friends, and he was like, wow, looks kind of fun, you know? And kind of a reunion at a wedding.
People of that generation love it.
They love it. Yeah, then we get together and talk about it. And, oh, shit, I got a nice ranch and stuff, nice family. I have nothing to be embarrassed about.
Talk about.
It's the first thing you think when you get that is, do I have anything to be embarrassed about?
Right.
Do I not want to tell them about, what do I have to lie about? Ranch.
What do I got that's impressive?
No, this isn't bad. Yeah, I'm all right. Picture of the ranch. It looks pretty. Look at that sunset. Let me show you this. Let me show you this Instagram feed of it.
Let me log into this YouTube.
It's pretty good stuff. Somebody
that's
just got
right now.
Ongoing story. Yeah. So he goes there and he's happy about it. He's talking about it. He says, Dan, let's go. Let's go to this wedding. Anne doesn't really want to go. She's not into it. She doesn't really know his high school friends, and she doesn't want to be a third wheel or whatever. She doesn't want to go while he's in a big group of his high school friends and her standing off to the side.
Right.
Which I get. I mean, you got to escort your mate to something like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
I get it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm kind of 50-50 on it because I can see like somebody being like, I don't really want somebody else there because I want to just talk to people and not have to feel like I have to include them. But at the same time, you want to I don't know, that's your life as your spouse. So you'd be like, hey, this is the life I've built with this person. And
I guess you kind of talk it over with them. And if they go, I don't want to do it. And you give them like your whole bit of why you do want to go. And they're like, no, I'm not really into it. I could still be like, maybe you're right.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I don't want to go.
I feel like your pitch this is what your pitch would be. That's why. Because your pitch would be like, okay, I want to go to this thing.
Yep.
You need to come with me because you're my wife and I want to show everybody to you. But once I'm done showing you to them, you need to just go away because you're not going to be part of the conversation. Yeah. And if we're being honest, I mean, and I'm going to have to include you and go, so Ann, this person, explain the backstory of our shorthand. It's, I
didn't want to hear how you knew the girl that you plowed under the bleachers anyway. I just want to go home.
But you have to do that, basically. And you have to stand there and nod and look interested. And this is what married people do for each other, okay? I'll do something shitty for you, and it's fine. I owe you one shitty thing. How's that? I owe you some bullshit with your sister and her family, and I'll go to brunch or whatever.
Keep a shitty list. I'll keep a shitty list. We'll compare them.
It doesn't matter.
Hopefully, we'll be at 18 shitty list things.
That's it.
By the end of the year.
One for one, we'll trade off on things like this. But she doesn't want to go, and he said, fuck it, I'll go myself. He said, I'll go. She said, you go, have a good time, but I don't want to go. So he goes, all right, yeah, he says, this might be good for me. I need it's a relaxing thing. I'm away from work, family, kids. Just see like the old friends, talk about old times and clear your head.
At 50 years old.
At 50 years old for some reason. But people do that.
I suppose.
People go to high school reunions in their 60s. Why?
My grandparents still do it.
Why? I know. I don't understand why.
I don't know.
Old people do that. I don't know what the fuck
there wasn't any Facebook then. They didn't keep up. They didn't have.
That's true.
A lot of them didn't go to college. So it's just like,
that's true.
How did you fare after that bullshit education we got?
See,
how'd you do?
We already hate most of the people we grew up with because we see their shitty opinions on Facebook and we're like, oh, you're a monster and I don't want to fucking talk to you anymore. Well, how was I friends with you?
Right.
What happened to this person? So we don't need that. Maybe that's why.
I see with your tits out on Instagram with 20,000 followers. I see what you're doing.
Or with 180 followers and it still doesn't matter. You're still going for it. So Bill goes to Arkansas. He's going to enjoy himself. Friend's wedding. So he goes to the hotel bar where he's at. There's a hotel that a bunch of the people are staying in. It's the night before the wedding, and he has a drink, and he's just sitting there by himself. And he sees somebody at the bar who he has not seen in a very long time, and it's his high school sweetheart, a woman named Barbara Miller.
Oh, no.
And so they were a major item in high school, these two. So he sees her, and he's like, oh, my God, I haven't seen you since high school. Weird. Yeah. So they start talking, and, she said that she liked him a lot back in the day, and he liked her a lot back in the day. But you got to understand, they haven't seen each other for 30 plus years.
Right.
If I saw any girl I went to high school with, I'd be like, hi, I don't know. Like, I have no interest in you.
I probably owe you an apology.
I'm sure. I was going to say, I don't know what I did, but I don't know if you're mad. I don't remember.
Right, there it is.
If you're mad at me. If you were then, you probably still are, because I'm sure what I did was terrible.
Let's not talk so that jogs your memory. How about we do that?
And apologize to your best friend and your cousin for me as well. Because
I'm sure I said something.
No, it was, they all.
Whatever.
I thought you knew about each other. I really did. I thought nobody minded. I'm just kidding.
I thought everybody was on board.
I thought it was okay. So, just kidding. So anyway, he is, they haven't seen each other forever, but this is her sister's wedding. So he had to think that he would run into her there, I would imagine.
It's that girl's sister's wedding.
It's Barbara Miller's sister's wedding. So
what are you doing,
that's why he got invited, because I don't know why. And why would you invite
your high school boyfriend?
No, this is her
sister's high school boyfriend.
Yeah,
why would you invite that guy?
Why would you get married and be like, we should invite that guy we haven't seen in over. Remember that guy you used to go out with in the 11th grade? I haven't seen him in a long time. Where's he live now? Montana? Let's send him an invite. So
see if he'll get on a fucking plane.
What the fuck kind of thing is that? Right? Is that weird?
That's bizarre.
I didn't invite anybody like that.
No.
And I got married back in the day pretty... Yeah, not far removed. This is years. This is 30-something years later.
This is a woman who's if she's the older sister, she's middle to late 50s.
That's what I mean.
You know what I mean?
I would get that invitation and go, who? Who's getting married? Where? What's happening?
Is this addressed to me?
Is this? I'm not buying a suit for this. No, right. I'm a rancher. I don't have this kind of attire.
Is a bolo okay?
Yeah, that's what I'm. That's what you got to come in all Western. Sorry, I've been on the ranch for the last 30 years or so, and
dress like Kevin Costner with just enough dust on your shoulder.
I dress like Charlie from Always Sunny in Philly when he's selling oil. That's what I do. I'm in oil. So he's happy. They're talking. They have a very nice conversation. They spend a few hours at the bar drinking and catching up on old times. And they start laughing and having fun. And they're talking about people. Have you seen? I knew that guy, and actually, what happened to him? If you see anybody there is a thing that it's not necessarily if it's the opposite sex or whatever you're into, but like if you see somebody from high school and they start telling you stories of disastrous things that have happened to other people that you do in high school, it's kind of funny. And it's like, you'll get into that conversation for a little while. It's like, oh my God, what did that idiot do now?
That's a good 15-minute conversation I can deal with.
Yeah, but this goes on for a while.
That's too much.
To the point where they get more comfortable and they start talking more about their personal lives.
Yep. And his jacket comes off.
He starts talking about his personal problems in the last few years. And
there goes the bolo.
Son committed suicide as he loosens up the tie. Let me tell you about that. No, that's another scotch.
Make that a double.
Make it the single malt this time, too. Let's get the good stuff. Never mind that Johnny Walker
18,
Black shit.
Let's get it.
The Macallum 18, and thank you. So, Glenlivet, please. So that they kind of get to the point in the conversation where he's talking about his life and how since his son committed suicide, his marriage has gone downhill, and all they do is fight. And
oh God!
Oh yeah, he's pitching.
Yeah,
he's pitching a no-hitter right now. He's in about the 6th inning.
So
in this
staying
bar.
At the Marriott, room 278.
He's been going with mostly fastballs, but on the 3rd time around in the lineup, now he's got to mix in the curves and sliders now and throw a change up in there. And he's, you know how it goes. He's in the 6th inning. You need some guile to make it all the way to the 9th.
Right.
Anybody can get to this point.
Right.
Then
trying to fix the whole thing.
To be a complete game, you got to really do it. So at this point, the hotel bar, it's last call. The lights come up and all that shit, so they're not ready to stop talking. They're in the middle of a conversation. So I mean, why is our conversation going to be dictated by when the bars close in the state of Arkansas? That's crazy.
This guy wants to go home?
Come on. It's because the bartender has a life?
Right.
Get the hell out of here. Stay here and serve me. That's what they're thinking. So they say, he says, let's go back to my room and talk more so we can hang out in the room there. So you know how this happens, obviously. And it is what it is. So they spend the night together. He's banging old Barbara here. And then Bill and Barbara go to her sister's wedding essentially together.
Yeah.
They make an entrance together and all that kind of thing. They sat next to each other. They danced together.
Yeah.
They were like a couple. Like if you took a date to a wedding and you did this sort of thing. They said everyone said they were like an old married couple, but had the energy like a new couple. You know what I mean? It was like...
Yeah, because they just fucked for the first time in forever.
Like, this is great. Now we know how to do it. Isn't this much better than when we were 16 and it was confusing?
Look, I'm considerate of you, too.
I know where all the parts are now. Isn't that great? I don't just hump away on you until I'm finished. It's wonderful now. Wow, it's great. So, yeah, that's going to happen. So anyway, this ends up happening, and as it's going on, they're having a good time at the wedding, and they decide that, they don't want to leave it alone. They don't want this to be the last time they talk or the last time they see each other. You know what I mean? They don't. They want to keep communicating. He tells her that he's not going to let her down. He's not going to run away on her, and he's going to, stay in touch with her. And they come up with a plan of they're going to email, and they got phones, and he's going to text me that this time's when.
Is she married too?
No, she's not married at all. She's single.
This girl.
So the whole thing is just.
Does she think I saw him first?
I don't know what she thinks. I think she thinks I know this guy. I've known him since he was a kid. And I think some people have a weird thing for this. And this is my I'm not a fucking psychologist, actually, obviously, but I didn't graduate high school, so I can't claim to have any medical knowledge. But as an amateur, done a lot of shit on crazy people and people with things in their heads. Not that this is crazy, but I feel like people.
It's pretty fucking crazy.
It's a little weird. Yeah, it's not normal. I'm not saying that. Don't get me wrong, but I'm saying like. When people see, I think, somebody from then, I think in their brain it puts them in the mindset of when they knew that person, if they haven't seen him in 30 years, and then they feel young again. Yeah. And I think someone that's 50 years old and it's not completely thrilled with not where excited with they see somebody and it's an excitement thing. I feel like I did when I was 17 again. That's the feeling I want. I've been missing that feeling, that energy. I think that's what it is, probably. I'm guessing. I don't know though, and I think she feels the same way, like, we're not middle-aged and paunchy people. We're exciting teenagers again. But you're not.
Yeah, but you're not.
You're not. That's the thing. 50s. Get your head out of your ass.
Yeah.
So they even make plans for her to move to Montana.
Wait, what? No.
Oh,
my family's there.
No. He's telling her this is what we're gonna do.
He wants her to go
move you to Montana. I'm gonna eventually edge away from my wife, and you're gonna, we're gonna.
So he's gonna leave
eventually, but not now. First, you're gonna come to Montana, and we're gonna have an affair for a while, and as I can get out of my marriage, I'll slip back. We'll exchange.
All right.
Partners at some point here, exchange wives, I should say. So, they thought maybe this is going to work. He leaves Arkansas, goes home to Montana, and he calls her twice right when he gets home and says that he misses her, and it was really nice to talk to her and all this sort of thing. So he says he needs to see her again, and he sets up basically a little getaway for them. They're going to go she's going to fly in. He's going to pick her up in Missoula, and they're going to go to a resort
in Missoula,
I think it's like north of Darby, west of Missoula type of thing, because Missoula's like northeast of Darby. So I think there's some resort out there, and Bill says he's going to buy her a plane ticket. It's going to be beautiful for the Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah.
You have what? How?
What?
I don't know what he's thinking.
He's leaving town to go to a wedding without the family, so I guess it's not weird. He disappears on him from time to time, I guess.
What do you say? I'm out ranching? I don't know. Got a big sheetrock job.
Memorial Day weekend. I realize this is like a rest family weekend. I'm going to just dedicate it to work.
I'm going to work. See, I was going to have a barbecue.
Yeah, I thought about it.
But I decided to fuck the girl I used to like in 11th grade English instead. So... how's that?
No, I don't know how do you.
I'm going to import her.
I don't know how you get away for days at a time from your family.
That's wild. I don't understand. He's got to have some. I'm sure he's cooking up some kind of story for a business trip. I'm sure he can say he has a sheetrock job that's up in some resort.
I suppose
that'll probably work. I would assume. I don't know
when the check comes in. Where's that check from that sheetrock?
They shorted me my sheetrock money. That fucking resort. Who runs that place? That bastard.
Goddamn
fucking piece of shit resort. Yeah, you'd be very upset with that. I'll make a phone call, honey. I'm very sorry. So he's. The whole time too, he's telling her that Anne's going to be gone soon. Don't worry, it's going to be the two of us. Everything's going to be great. It's all good, and everything stays all good. And this plan continues. And she's going to come out for Memorial Day weekend. Everything's wonderful, which if you're outside the U.S. is in May, Memorial Day weekend, until Friday, April 29th of 2005, when Anne gets a phone call.
Stop it.
A phone call from an anonymous caller. It's a woman who won't say who she is, but she will say that basically, I was at this wedding in Arkansas with your husband, and your husband's fucking his high school girlfriend, and they were real close and all up on each other, and I know her, and I think the shit's still going on, so you might want to know that. Wow. I don't know who the hell would do that, but... wow.
Somebody who's been cheated on.
Somebody just took... they just took a big pool of gasoline and said, how many matches do I have? The whole book. Fuck it.
My.
Who does that? Like, who would?
It's vindictive.
Even if you knew that about, would you? I wouldn't want to be the person to tell somebody that.
No.
I'd be like, I'm not. I hope they find out, but I'm not going to be the one to tell them.
The
Jesus
sentence
Christ.
is only designed to hurt. That's all that's for.
Unless it's her sister or somebody that's close to her that really is like, I want to tell you this so you don't get hurt, and now I'm here to comfort you as well. Mm-hmm. That would be one thing. But just, I'm an anonymous caller. Your husband's fucking his high school girlfriend. How do you like that? Goodbye. Like, that's a lot to take in, I would think, for her. So she's obviously blown away by this. The person, like I said, never identified themselves, anything like that. So she's upset, as you might imagine. Anne is a bit upset. She's mad. She confronts Bill over it. Confronts Bill over the affair, and Bill agrees that he would stop talking to her, stop talking to Barbara.
It's all out.
And blows it up on him, and he's like, I don't know what I was thinking. You're right. Yeah. I was all happy there for a minute and lost my mind. You know how that goes.
Listen, Ann, there's. Have you ever gotten pussy? All right, you have.
No, you haven't.
I got nothing. I won't do it.
It was a lot of serotonin that I just was not used to having. That was rushing through my body, and it was bad stuff. So, So then he sends her an email. So Barbara didn't know the call went to Anne. Barbara thinks everything's going on fine. Barbara doesn't know that Anne knows about it and has now confronted Bill. Like, she's blissfully unaware, making plans to come for Memorial Day. She doesn't know, and out of the blue, Bill sends her an email saying, it's over, I can't do this. And that was that. He explains that Anne knows about the affair, and he tells her that we can't ever see each other again. Sorry, don't mean to do this to you twice, because apparently he dumped her in high school and kind of ghosted out on her. So that was the thing. So he said, don't mean to do this twice, but I can't do it. I'm canceling the airline ticket I bought you to Montana. Have a good one. Have a good life, Barbara. Like, Jesus Christ.
Oh, no.
So she's like, what the fuck? She's pissed. He came on to her real strong. He's banging her. He's telling her all this shit. He's selling her a line of goods. I'm going to break you out, take you out here. I'm leaving my wife. We're going to be together, blah, 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 blah.
Resorts and airplane tickets.
All this plans and shit. And then out of nowhere, he's like, never mind, sorry. She found out, so I don't like you anymore. And she's like, what the fuck? She's pissed, she said, obviously.
Barbara, we're foiled.
Yeah, this isn't going to work here. She said, great, I got fucking dumped twice, basically. And so she sent an email back saying, fucking call me. How's that? Why don't you call me and talk to me about this? And he never called, so she got pissed. Okay. She decides, I'm going to Montana whether he wants me to or not.
Really?
He owes me more than an email.
Yeah.
For the second time. Yep. He owes me more than an email.
I wrote this on the shitty list. We have to do something together now.
I would have accepted a phone call, but now it's going to be face-to-face time now. So, oh boy, this is going to be an Old West showdown going on here. So she makes up her mind. She's going to Montana. But then she gets her somehow, I didn't think she had to pay for it, but she gets her canceled plane ticket reactivated again. Okay. So she's ready to go to Montana. And Barbara tells Bill that she's going to show up on his doorstep and she's going to camp out there till he's ready to come out and have some balls and talk to her face to face like a man. Oh my God. So I don't know if this is a way to try to get him to just call and do it, or if I threaten him enough that I'll show up at his house, maybe he'll call me and talk to me about it. I'm not sure.
She's a bit on the...
This is aggressive.
Yeah.
I would say it's aggressive. But
listen, he fucked up.
I was going to say, I mean, it's one thing, there's the old stupid woman scorn shit, but woman scorn twice.
Yeah.
Over a 30-year period is a different story. And that's not woman. That's anyone scorned twice over it. They're going to get pissed off and want to be like, all right, I'm at least going to yell at you.
You fucked me over on my last interaction with you. You sweet talk me all night, and then you do the same thing again?
Again.
We're having a chat this time.
After I was making life plans. Right. Like, she was planning on moving. She was going to sell her house, and she's like talking about what she was right. He's making life plans.
I paid an inspection fee. Fuck you.
Exactly. This is ridiculous. I have people in and out of my house all day traipsing around saying my goddamn closet's not big enough. I gotta hear that shit because of you. You're a dick.
How many times I've heard it's not very modern? Fuck you. I mean? I'm coming to talk.
I know the kitchen needs an update, all right? Fuck. Granite was fine fucking 10 years ago.
I get it's laminate.
I know.
It's not real wood.
Fine, okay? It looks nice and it's easy to clean. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, she decides they're going to have a face-to-face on Memorial Day. It's going to be a holiday showdown. So hopefully he's out like flipping hamburgers in the yards with
a fucking apron on.
An apron. There's people playing badminton, and she fucking screeches up in a rental car going, Bill! Huh?
Bill, you want another beer? You're going to need it now,
His
sir.
floppy chef's hat as he turns.
Oh, shit.
With his Kiss the Cook fucking apron on. Number one dad barbecue artist or some shit.
Try the meat with his arrow pointing down.
Yeah, isn't that funny? Jesus, you've seen them all. Jimmie,
I'm a dad.
Jimmie has shopped for novelty barbecue aprons more than most people, as you can understand. 'Cause that's a real apron. That's why.
Yeah, it is.
It's something you've seen. I'm like, you did not just make that up.
No.
I know you didn't.
That exists.
That's fucking hilarious.
A good or a hard man is good to find. Fucking bachelorette shirts. They're everywhere.
It's all over.
They're the best ones, but they're everywhere.
They're everywhere. That's why they're out. Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about a healthy, delicious item, Hero Bread. And we're both trying to get healthier this new year. Jimmie had a eye-opening doctor's appointment and things like that. So we're trying to get healthier, and I'm telling you right now, this Hero Bread is a good step in this direction. It's delicious, and it is really good for you, and it's really excellent. They have the sliced bread is good, the bagels, the tortillas. I know you've been
they're terrific.
Ranting about the tortillas. They're so good. With Hero Bread, you can focus on your health goals and still indulge in the soft, fluffy experience you love, but guilt-free. I really love the little Hawaiian rolls, too.
Yeah.
They're so good. They're so good. The Hawaiian rolls, they're legit. They're fluffy. Yeah. They're exactly how you want them to be. You'd never know it's low-carb and high-fiber bread from the texture. You get the soft, fluffy experience you know and love with your savory breakfast sandwich, late-night grilled cheese, Taco Tuesday. Do it. No compromises, just flavor, ultra-low net carbs, 0 grams of sugar, high in fiber. It's fantastic. Hero Bread is offering 10% off your order. Go to hero.co and use the code SmallTownMurder at checkout. That's SmallTownMurder at HERO.co.
And now back to the show.
Hey, everybody. Just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about Sono Bello. You know, the most known secret with celebrities and influencers and all these famous people is so many of them have had lipo. They've had lipo, whether it's a little touch-up here or a total makeover. Yeah. Nobody has a perfect body. That's the thing. No. They may look like it on TV, but there's things that help that. Absolutely. Lipo now has changed, and Sono Bello's been at the forefront with using LAL technology and getting those beautiful and natural outcomes for each person. Looking real natural. Our friends at Sono Bello are offering their best deal. You're now included in their winter savings event, but appointments are limited, so please get on this. Sono Bello doctors are masters in micro-laser fat removal, a brilliant technique that removes stubborn fat permanently. Wherever your problem areas are, tummy, love handles, thighs, arms, it's gone in one comfortable visit. Eating healthy and workouts are great. Keep doing that, but if you want to lose that stubborn fat in one visit, check out Sono Bello. Save big during their winter savings event. Schedule your free consultation now at sonobello.com/smalltownmurder. That's sonobello.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
So, Bill is telling Ann that the affair is over. We're going to live our lives. But he's like, holy shit, how do I get her to not come to here on Memorial Day? Yeah. This is, plates are spinning. This is difficult here. So he does keep his promise, though. He never contacts Barbara. Not even to tell her not to come to his house on Memorial Day, which might have been a good time to break the promise.
Not even to just send the follow-up email.
Listen,
please don't do that.
Listen, we got to talk, all right? No, is basically what I'm getting at here.
This is where a conversation with your wife comes in where you go, look, I got this email back.
Yeah.
Can I please just call her?
You
can be in the room. We'll sort it out.
I'll put it on speaker.
I know what I did and I fucked up, and I want you to know everything.
I don't want her to come here on Memorial Day because I feel like no matter how much that wouldn't be my fault, I feel like you're going to blame me. I feel like some blame is going to be put onto me, which I guess is understandable. Yeah. You wouldn't know this person otherwise. But
I'm going to hear about this for years.
I feel like it's going to be the neighbors are going to know about it. The cattle are going to know. It's going to be a lot. I don't think we want to deal with this. So he doesn't contact her at all. Like I said, you got to lay the cards on the table. Look. Yeah. this is what's going on.
This is what happened.
So-
Answer every question. She's going to want details.
That's
you
it.
better say them. You better say them.
You better.
How many times?
I want
This
to know
many.
it all. Yeah, I'll put it on speaker. So he doesn't contact her, and she eventually, because there's a month that goes by here, she cools down over the course of the month and says, you know what, fuck it. What am I going to do? Like, I'm sure she talked to a friend or her sister or something, and somebody told her, what are you going to go there for?
Right.
What is that going to do but cause you grief? You're a 50-year-old woman. Mm-hmm. Come on. This is no.
Right.
This is you have 22-year-old energy here. I'm going to go there and confront people. You do that shit when you're 22. When you're 50, you go, all right, they don't want me. It's enough. I'll be fine. I'm going to eat something and relax.
How good
then.
was that rancher cock? He is slinging dick, man.
Well, I mean, he
is great at it.
He knows
apparently.
how to sheetrock in the bright rooms.
He
if
sure
you know what
does.
I'm saying. He throws it down.
in the bed.
He sheetrocks her ass. He sheetrocked that ass. That's what it is. So she ends up not showing up. And so there's no contact with him, no contact with her. For a period in the summer of 2005, things are normal again. No weird shit. She's not going to show up. He says he's back on track. Anne says she forgives him, or quote unquote forgives him. She's not going to divorce him.
In lieu of the
of
correct
divorce.
behavior forever.
And exactly. In lieu of that, more paperwork.
Right.
I'm going to trust you. So everything's fine until June 1st here. June 1st, he's on his computer at home when he gets a message in his inbox, and it's a little bit strange.
This is 1 week after Memorial Day.
This is 1 week later, yeah.
Okay.
So a return for a short period, not much.
Yeah.
Well, it was okay because he didn't contact her, so there was no contact from like early May.
Oh, got it. Okay.
So-
through Memorial Day.
Yeah, so
and
it's
then
like
we
a
get
month.
to June, and now she's pissed.
Yeah, it's like a month where the Stout household has been calm waters,
Okay.
basically. So he gets an email now saying, quote, I love you. We're going to be together. We're going to meet face to face. And so the email address that they were coming from was called Freak-O-Fark at some shit. Huh? So, yeah, it was
Freak of Ark.
Freak of Ark, yeah, I guess. I don't know.
Freak of Arkansas.
Of Ark, yeah. Of Fark, I saw. Freak-O-Fark.
Jesus Christ, James.
I'm terrible at personalized.
Like,
I'm bad at personalized license plates. Can I say that? I'm really
Clearly.
bad at personalized license plates. I'm terrible at them. I'm as good at personalized license plates as you are at Italian names and the shout outs. Put it that way.
Freak-O-Fark.
Freak-O-Fark. Jesus Christ.
Unbelievable.
Oh, God.
You sit at red lights and go, what the fuck does it say?
Oh, I can't ever figure it out. I say to Sarah, what the fuck are they trying to tell me? She'll look at it for 2 seconds and tell me. I'm like, all right, thank you. I investigate it too deep and I don't even know what I'm doing. And
Are
then
they insulting me, Sarah? What are they saying?
Are they a dick? What does this say? Is this like something that says
No,
like
it says go Suns.
you
All
should
right,
diddle
got
kids or something? What's going on? Oh, those sons. Okay. I get it now.
It's an NBA plate, James.
Freak-O-Fark. Freak-O-Fark.
God, I love that so much. And it also tells so much about her.
Oh, yeah.
She loves sex and she
Freak of Arkansas? Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a lot
she's
to
into
say.
it, babe.
Oh, boy.
I like her.
So he gets this, and despite the intriguing email address where he's like, I don't know, he decides, not going to respond, delete.
Right.
Because maybe if I just delete everything, maybe it'll just go away.
Mm-hmm.
So this will go away. So he thinks she won't. That's the end of that shit. But then it's not.
He's as bad at license plates as you are. He doesn't know what that means either.
Yeah.
He's like, who's Freak-O-Fark?
Freak-O-Fark. Jesus.
I think I'm all right.
Do they mean fart and they misspelled it? What happened?
This is a spam email.
Yeah, don't need that. So then he discovers Bill, a short time after getting the email, he finds Anne in the kitchen reading some letters.
Oh, boy.
Addressed to both of them that had been sent in the mail. So she just got the mail, and there's a letter addressed to both of them. She opened it like a normal person would, and she starts fucking reading it. And
she hates it.
It's from Barbara. It says
Freak-O-Fark.
it's from Freak-O-Fark, and Freak-O-Fark is not going well here. So At this point, she's pissed off at this, but he's saying, I have not contacted her. I can't help that if somebody's a little off, that's not my fault. And she's like, I get it. I guess we'll handle this together. And, but she's still pissed off because she wants a life without some woman her husband had an affair with. Right. Who the hell wants that? You know what I mean? This wouldn't be happening if you wouldn't have fucked her, basically, she's saying. So I get that it's her fault now, but let's be honest here. Yeah. You started pushing that rock down the mountain, and it's just gravity now taking its course, I guess. No one can resist your sheetrocking cock. It's hard as sheetrock.
You're rocking the sheets, pal.
You're rocking it. So he rocks the sheets. Sheetrocker1. Yeah. That's his email address.
And his license plate.
Sheetrocker1. Sheetrocker rocking the sheets. So now Bill, Ann, and their sons and a bunch of their friends start receiving emails.
No.
Start receiving letters postmarked in Arkansas. Saying that they're from Barbara Miller or from Barbara Miller's daughter, whatever, intermittently. Both of them. Ann is just like, holy shit. Now it's embarrassing, too, because literally they're sending letters to their sons.
That's terrible.
So their sons are reading this like, oh, your dad had an affair with me and now he's doing this shit. And
oh, my God.
Their friends in town are getting letters like, their people they work with are getting letters saying that, this is what's going on. And
this isn't my business.
We're supposed to be together. And then this guy ditched me again. And then, blah, blah, blah. This is horrible shit, though. I mean, it's a small town. This is very embarrassing for these people. They're older people in a small town. Like, they're not used to this. They're not swingers, these two, the Stouts. So it turns out that it's just, it's ongoing. And in these communications, Miller's telling her and everybody else that it's an ongoing affair and that Bill is still having an affair with her. God damn it. And he hasn't contacted her at all. And he's like, I swear to God, I have not contacted her. Mm-hmm. She's crazy, he's saying. Like, I don't know. This is like a fatal attraction thing. I don't know what's happening. Yeah. I didn't do any of this shit. Letters then started coming claiming that Miller was pregnant with Bill's child.
Oh, God damn it.
So, yeah. And also saying that she was going to come to Montana to take Ann's place in the family. And she was going to come there and edge out Ann and, have a child with Bill and be a new family, and Ann needs to go away. So she's sending Ann's receiving letters saying that you need to go away because he got me pregnant, so I'm coming there. And
do they contact the cops about
get out
this?
of the fucking house? Well, not yet. So not yet. She says that she's going to bring Bill's baby to Montana and show up on the doorstep and all this type of shit. Yeah. So
look at it. It's got a bow tie and everything.
Look, right. it was born with this. That's how I know.
He smells like a wide open range.
He was squinting the whole time. Still, look at him. There's no sun. We're inside. He's just squinting, looking through his. I don't know. It's weird. So he's leathery and wrinkled. Right. He's 6 months old.
He's just always counting cows and shit.
It's weird,
trying to make sure they're all there.
Super weird. He kicks shit, literally.
Falls out his diaper, he just kicks it on the floor.
And slings sheetrock cock like no baby should. It's not right. So,
yeah, he's a newborn. He's wearing size 4 diapers. That's right. You want to know why?
Yeah, he's packing.
He's got Montana dick. That's
right.
Why.
He's packing. It's big sky country. It's big other country, too. It's big cock country up here. So all of these letters are postmarked in Arkansas, and, all of them. And what they do is then she said there's another batch of letters that go, because this is like a bunch of letters keep coming in waves. At one point, there's a batch of letters that goes out to all of her friends, all of their relatives, inviting them to a barbecue in Montana to celebrate the new relationship between Bill and Barbara Miller.
God damn it.
So come to our engagement party, basically. It's going to be wonderful. Celebrate our baby coming. So Bill at this point said, okay, I tried, but, it's getting too rough at home. And he goes to law enforcement. And he goes to the Ravalli County sheriffs here, and he reports harassment. He says, I'm getting fucking constantly harassed here.
Chief Boyardee, we got to talk.
Listen, Chief, it's a lot going on.
Yeah.
I like the beef ravioli, by the way, that you make. They're very, very nice. Deputy Beefaroni, we need to have a chat. I'm sorry.
Can we kick the SpaghettiOs out of this?
That's good. Deputy fucking ravioli and beefaroni. So he reports it to them, and in addition to all the emails, now at this point, after he reports it to law enforcement, other things start happening. Not letters, now acts of vandalism start happening. Like
somebody's there.
Like they would have to be there to do.
No.
Eggs his truck will get inexplicably egged, and it'll be the only thing, like nobody else in the neighborhood. It's not a bunch of kids going around egging people. Right. It's his truck is covered in eggs and nobody else's is.
Oh, boy.
Shit is smeared all over his truck. Shit. I hope it doesn't say. I don't know if it's human or dog.
Yeah.
I'm really hoping she found.
Or is it cow?
Or cow shit.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shit on a ranch. Right. So if you're looking for shit, that's the place to find it. You need a handful of it. Up there it is. Just pick it up and smear it wherever you want. So you don't have to make your own, probably, I would assume, with so much already on the ground.
It's plentiful.
Yeah. So, but shit smeared all over his truck. He'd come out and have shit smeared all over, which is wonderful. They would break. There was broken potted plants on the porch of the house.
She's still 17, James.
This is at the house. Yeah. I mean, this is no shit now. This isn't a letter from Arkansas. This is someone broke our potted plant and smeared shit on my truck. This is a problem. It's an issue. Also, they would both Bill and Ann report receiving numerous hang-up phone calls at the house. So they're from payphones. Mm-hmm. They're not from numbers that anybody could investigate.
Right.
It's crazy here. So Bill also reports that a credit card and some financial information were missing from the house, and he feared that. So every time something happens, he has to go back to the cops and go, there's more. Oh, now there's shit on my truck. Oh, now my plants are broken.
And now there's things inside.
Yeah. Now he said that he tells the cops, look, I'm scared that she is here, and I'm scared she broke into my fucking house. Yeah. If she's all around my house,
she's got to be there because she knows where his family is.
And where there's a will, there's a way with a break-in. Yeah. I mean, it's not like if you want to break it, since there aren't armed guards around there, so it's if you want to break in, you can break in. So he said, this is getting really scary. He says, I'm getting emails. She's still saying she's coming to Montana. I'm scared. Like, what can you do for me here? So now Ann, at the same time, she's so upset that she talks to a bunch of people in town about the whole thing. And basically he's very embarrassed and ashamed of this whole thing, Bill is, because people ask what's wrong, and she's like, "Oh, the woman my husband's having an affair with is stalking us and smearing shit on his truck." And so, I mean, she's got to be able to talk to people, her friends, and things like that. And he feels obviously responsible for it. So it's not good. December 2006 comes around, and it's still going on here and everything. It's still happening. At this point, by December, Ann and Barbara they have communicated, which is strange. Yeah. Everything's kind of.
Is Ann kind of trying to settle the waters?
I don't know if. Yeah, I think she's trying to be like, look, maybe if she's acknowledged, and she just realizes we have a family, you are happy, and there's been a misunderstanding, and maybe if we treat her that way, maybe she'll act like a human if we treat her like one, basically. Which,
she's obviously angling for the fear aspect, so let's not show any fear.
Let's
treat her like a person and tell her, look, we're not going to deal with your shit.
The dog's growling. Let's show him the back of our hand and go, here you go, smell it if you want. Right. I'm not afraid of you. It's that sort of thing. Yeah. Okay. So I feel like that's kind of what it is. So they talk on the phone a little bit. She also called and emailed. Stout now takes another thing. First, she was calling to yell at her too, and say, stop doing this shit. Then also Ann, after there's communication doesn't stop, Ann calls and emails Barbara Miller's boss about the affair. To be like, well, maybe if her boss tells her to chill the fuck out, maybe she doesn't want to get fired.
Smart.
Yeah, it is, I guess. If it's been months, it's been 6 months of harassment. At some point, you don't care anymore. Like,
I don't know how much time she puts in at your office, but this is how much time she puts in at my office.
Yeah, she sends my kids letters. Right. Like, this is fucking. Once someone's sending your kids shit, that's all nuts. Bets are off. That's at ridiculous. That point. Yeah, all bets are off here. So now Miller started worrying that she was going to lose her job. She said that she was worried she was going to lose her job if they took out a restraining order against her, and she got served at work. Like, she was afraid she'd lose her job over that. Yeah. So she said that she and they never sought a restraining order against her, by the way, which is strange. But she did tell people, and did, that she got a restraining order against her, which, I don't know, people talk. So
maybe you hear that enough where you tell people enough of the story, then they go, "Why don't you just get a restraining order?" And she's like, "I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
It's a lot of trouble. It's a lot of hassle. It'll affect her terribly. I don't want to do that." So eventually, you just go, "Yeah, I already did that."
Well, yeah, and then really strange about January 2007, Ann calls Barbara Miller and says, "You know what? I'm divorcing Bill. You can fucking have him. I'm pissed off. I've had it with this whole thing. You win." Basically, I'm not doing it anymore. It's not stopped. There's been this constant stream of this shit. She feels between her son committing suicide and this fucking affair, it's been dragging on and embarrassing her to her friends, family, children, work associates. She's done. She's like, you know what? She literally says, "I'm divorcing Bill. You can fucking have him. Enjoy." That's it. I'm angry about it, and I've had it. So 2007, this is the state of the relationship. She says she's divorcing Bill. Everything's up in the air. Barbara Miller thinks that she's on deck.
Yeah.
This is what's going on. By 2007, Noah, I believe the older son, is in college. Matt's in high school. May of 2007, Bill puts the house and ranch up for sale.
Really?
Okay, puts it up for sale. I don't know if he was calling Barbara's bluff on the divorce. Like, all right, well, we'll put the house up for sale then. Whatever, but she was very upset with him for putting the house up for sale. So I don't understand if she wanted a divorce and wanted to stay there, if that was how it worked or what it was, but there's a source of beef there. But through the month of May, after he puts the house up for sale, I don't know if that was an extreme measure that calmed the waters or what, but after that they start getting along a little bit better. Once they have a big fight about the house blow and all that shit, then they start, Ann and Bill start calming.
That's how Funny Farm got them back together.
That's what it is. Yeah, that's how it works there up in Redbone.
I don't want to move either. I don't even want to get divorced. Me neither.
Me neither. You can have the apple. So June 1st, 2007, Bill back to the Ravioli County Sheriff here.
The old Chief Boyardee.
The old Chief Boyardee. To tell the chief that he has had a robbery at his house. He's had stolen from him a 9mm Beretta, which is, a gun, obviously, the holster that it goes with, and a bunch of ammo.
Oh, that's not good at all.
So somebody stole my weapon and all my shit, basically.
And possibility to fire it.
It's things to fire it with, and, I've been being stalked for a year. Right. So a little frightening. Oh, boy. He apparently showed up freaking out at the sheriff.
I would too.
It wasn't like, this is weird. I don't know if it's anything, or, you guys tell me if you think it's anything, but, it might be a silly. He showed up like, holy shit, it's worse now.
Yeah.
Because every time something happens, he runs back there and they're just like, boy, that's weird.
Yeah, you're not going to believe it, guys. Somebody that eggs, rubs shit, breaks stuff, steals credit cards, they're now armed.
I just see the sheriff with his feet up on the desk and his hat pulled down over his eyes, you know what I mean? Yep. And every time they come in, he's aroused and kicks his coffee over when he's
God
feet
damn it,
I
just creamed that coffee.
Martha, another cup of coffee, please. She's like, another? So this is what's going on here. So he says theft of the handgun. He says basically it's Barbara Miller. It stole my fucking handgun. Yes. She's been doing all this shit. She stole my handgun. She's here in town. Obviously, she stole my handgun. She's been coming in and out periodically. She's stalking me. I'm scared, basically. She wanted to ruin my life, and now I'm worried that she has a gun,
right? And
she's upset. So they say fill out a police report, saying that you think she stole it. That's when he starts to second guess himself, and he's like, well, I don't know she stole it, though. I can't, I didn't see her do it. So, because they say, you have to. So he starts freaking out, and we're to the point now where Bill doesn't even sleep much at night anymore. Like I'm
sure
he's got a lot going on in his mind.
He hasn't had a solid shit in months.
No, liquidy. It's bad. It's Del Taco every night of the week. Every night.
He can't tell which is going down, water or shit.
Like, Tuesday night, 39-cent, you motherfuckers. For your East Coast people and foreign people, Del Taco has 39-cent tacos on Tuesdays.
39 cents.
39 cents.
In 2020.
That's insane. So you get a giant sack of them for under $4. They're disgusting.
They're horrible.
Their cheese is good, but
it is.
The shell is bad. The meat is
the shell is like 7 weeks old.
It's rock hard. I just want to get Taco Bell tacos and put the Del Taco cheese on the Taco Bell tacos and then eat those because they're much better.
And how dare Taco Bell think that their taco is worth $1.69?
But this is what I mean. You're going to charge that.
Who are you?
And these people have 39-cent. It's a shit taco,
right?
Yeah,
it's just a stale Taco Bell. That's all it is.
It's almost like if you go to someone's house who doesn't cook very well and they make house tacos. Yeah. That's what Del Taco tacos are. And you're like, these are kind of suck. They don't have any taste.
It's shaped like a taco.
Did you season the meat?
Right.
You put that mix in, right?
It's just hamburger?
Because there's mix that you put in, and then you water and you reduce it.
It's dry. I got to chew a lot.
It's mealy. When I put it down, all the meat falls out in little pieces. It doesn't stay together.
Why'd you chop it up so much?
God damn. Well, you're supposed to, but then the stuff keeps it together, but you didn't add that
stuff. If you're not putting that in, it's got to be bigger than this.
It's now a loose meat taco. Thanks. So, yeah, he says that, he doesn't know who stole the gun. He's not positive, so he can't really blame her if he's not positive. So the cops are like, look, if you want us to go arrest her for it, fill out a report and we will. If you don't think it is, then what the fuck do you want from us, basically? Right. Report that the gun is stolen. You don't know who took it. I don't know. So that's what they do. So some time goes by here. About 9 days go by. No sign of Barbara. No sign of any weirdness. Nothing happens. And then June 9th, 2007 comes along. Anne and Bill, they're alone in the house that evening. Their younger son was out because he's in high school. He's a teenager. He was out and he comes home like late in the evening, like before midnight, right around there. Bill is going to go horseback riding with a friend the next day, and he is fucking jacked about it.
Yeah.
Bill he loves a good horseback ride. And yeah, he talks to his friend on the phone, talking about how great it's going to be. We're going to take the horses here. We're going to go up this mountain. I mean, he had a whole plan. It was his day.
I do the same thing.
It was Bill Day, man. Except not on a horse.
Yeah, but when I make plans with somebody to go somewhere,
I'll call about it.
I call them the night before, dude, we're going to do this and we're going to do that. It's going to be so fucking great. They're like, dude, just have dinner and go to bed.
You do that. You don't do that with me, though, because you're like, I'll leave it alone. If I sell it too much, he's not going to want to do it anymore.
He's not going to think it's great.
He's going to think I'm just going to go, see you then.
I'll meet you guys at the gas station over here, and then we'll all just go up together.
Oh, it's going to be great. We'll take one car.
Why don't we just go and meet there, Jimmy? Calm down. No.
You're thinking about this way too much.
The trip is half of the fun, you guys.
You're overthinking this, Jimmy. He's very excitable. So he's doing that. That night, Anne cooks dinner. She makes steak, broccoli, potatoes.
Okay.
It's a hell of a nice dinner there. It's a Montana rancher dinner.
Yeah, steak, that's a meat and potatoes guy.
Yeah, it was about a 4-pound steak, too, I'm sure. It was just a hunk of cow.
Two chunks of cauliflower and broccoli.
That's it. And then a giant baked potato.
Yes.
And he had a beer with his dinner as well, that's a good dinner right there. That's a fine dinner. They do that. Their son leaves for the evening, goes to hang out. They get to fucking.
Yeah.
Ann and Bill get some fucking on that night after a steak dinner. He's got to let that settle a little bit first.
You betcha.
Just ate half a cow. He's not going to start plowing away on anybody.
Unless you do some of that comfortable side fucking.
That's what you got to do. Hold on. There you go. Now, if you just kind of rock, we ain't got to move. This is a steak dinner fucking
This is
here.
not a sheetrock night.
This ain't a sheetrocking kind of night, sweetheart. We're just going to just rock back and forth. There you go. Eventually something will happen. Don't worry.
Like a North Carolina airport chair.
That's all.
Just rock it up.
Gentle, like a Charlotte airport. Gentle back and forth now. Maybe that. We don't know what happened.
Yeah.
So he might have sheetrocked it. We're not sure. So he talks to his friend just before 10 o'clock about the horsing
around.
About the Farco fan or
the Frico
Fark. Talks about Frico Fark now, about riding and shit like that. And so Bill falls asleep, and Anne says that she went to sleep with him right around that time. The next morning, she says that he wasn't feeling very well, and when his friend called about going out for the ride, Anne talked to him on the phone and said that Bill says he's not feeling great at all, and he's going to stay in today. Okay. So later that day, June 10th, Barbara takes Matt to Missoula, takes Matthew for a shopping trip. They're gone kind of the whole day, just shopping around. It's an hour or something away. So, if you go there, you don't go
Barbara or Ann?
Ann, not Barbara. Yeah, Ann Stout here. Okay. She takes her son, Matthew. They go, when you go an hour and something away to shop, like you got to get all your shopping. You're not going to one store.
Yeah.
You're going to make a day of that shit.
It's going to be an 8-hour trip.
You have to, because it's going to take an hour and a half to get there. So they don't come home till the late afternoon. Mm-hmm. It's 3 hours of travel, too. So now Matthew doesn't see his father. Didn't see him the prior evening, because he came home and he was already sleeping, and so he doesn't see him that morning either because he's still in bed, and he takes off. So they get home, Ann and Matthew, about 4:30, and they find Ann finds Bill in bed, and then she sees there's a lot of blood around.
Oh, no.
A lot of blood everywhere, and she calls 911 at 4:30 p.m., and she says that, quote, there's something wrong with her husband.
Yeah,
I'd say a lot of blood is something wrong.
Yeah.
That's an issue. She says, quote, there's blood and his eyes are all bruised. He's cold. Well, yeah, those are all not great signs. So the ambulance, obviously, and police, 911, everybody fucking rushes to the house. They confirm that Bill is, in fact, dead. There's a lot of blood. And they find a cartridge from a 9mm under the pillow.
One shot?
They find that one shot. Mm-hmm. He's been shot in the back of the head.
Okay.
Boom, one shot. So there's that, and they find a shell case. So they got some stuff here that they find. That's it. So the officers, they get a search warrant to go over the whole house. They need prints and obviously all that kind of shit. Now, once they're investigating, Stout and her two sons obviously are like, Barbara Miller is who you want to talk to.
Yeah.
Clearly, this is the one who did this to it. They said she explains they had an affair with Bill. She's been stalking the family. It's a whole thing because the homicide guys don't know anything about this. Chief Ravioli knows, but Chief Boyardee knows this thing, but no one else knows it. Deputy Beefaroni hasn't spoken to anyone about anything. So she tells the officers that Barbara's harassment's been all that's been going on. Bill's been back and forth to the cops. He believed lately, right before the gun thing, he believed that a car that turned into their driveway during the night was Miller or one of her family members. Mm-hmm. So he's been living in fear. And also, acquaintances of Bill tell the officers about that also. It's all he's been talking about. He's been being stalked. He's been so scared. And, all of this type of shit. They're worried about it here. So that is until they find, so just on a lark here, they're like, well, let's try to find out if it was this Barbara Miller. And they find from a convenience store in Arkansas surveillance video of her in Arkansas that morning.
Huh.
So that's a tough one.
That'd be a tough ride.
Yeah. Or flight or anything. Yeah. She's in a convenience store in Arkansas at like 9 a.m. So they're like, okay, that's interesting. That's weird. Yeah. So they also figure out, so they're like, we have to go into this a little deeper. And when they do, they find that Ann had conducted internet searches related to Barbara Miller and to Bill on her work computer. And she also used that computer to create an email account with Barbara Miller's name. Here. They also found no evidence from flight logs and everything else that Barbara Miller has ever been to Montana.
Get out of here.
Not at all. One of the investigating detectives here, back to the house, he offered his opinion that Bill's body was moved after he was shot.
Oh, shit.
Well, and after he was killed, based in part on the bloodstains found on and around the body. He's an officer with the Ravioli County Sheriff's Department.
Yeah.
And also the deputy county coroner as well, which... it's a small town. And you're like, how you doing? I'm a sheriff so-and-so, and I'm a coroner.
Yeah.
And by the way, if your kid's having a bar mitzvah, I'll cater the shit out of it and DJ as well. It's going to be wonderful. So, he ended up doing the crime scene. He said that the scene of Bill's death, he found a large volume of blood that had coagulated. And he said the difference between dried and coagulated blood, he tried to explain this a little bit. He said that based on the coagulation and the drying, he said Bill had been dead for some time when he examined the body. They also talked about the state of rigor mortis and lividity. You know what lividity is, yeah. So lividity and his observations to the body, he concludes Bill's been dead for 8 to 12 hours or so, if not longer.
That's not good.
No, yeah, if not longer.
That puts old girl in the house.
That's not good at all. So they said the bullet also, Ann's contention is, well, if it's not Barbara, Bill must have killed himself because Bill's been depressed and all this type of shit. So it's obviously a suicide. They go, that's weird because most people don't shoot themselves in the back of the head.
Yeah, it's rare to
most people don't get in bed and put a gun behind their head and shoot themselves. That's very difficult to do. To shoot yourself in the back of the goddamn fucking head is not... It's not normal.
The execution style suicide is
it's rare.
Yeah,
it's rare in crime circles. I know
that generally sends a message.
Yeah,
and you can't really send that message to yourself.
He
if you're
also
dead.
Cut his dick off, stuffed it in his mouth, and shot both of his eyes out like the mob do to rats. Yeah, he's a rat. No, so they were like, interesting. They said the bullet could not have traveled through Bill's head to the position in the pillow where it was located. So that's also how they know he was moved, from the blood and where the bullet was.
Got
it. They said the body must have been moved after he was shot. They said there was blood that was actually above or against gravity from the wound, indicating that the body had been moved as well. So he also said that there was a defined margin or line in the blood stain on the left hand as if it had been partially in a pool of blood, but that hand was not in a pool of blood when the body was found. So there was like a watermark on his hand, basically, of blood.
Water was this high.
Yeah, exactly.
And it wasn't anymore.
It wasn't anymore. Yeah, somebody didn't mark the Twain there. So they found other areas of the body where it was like that too. He said there were coagulated deposits on top of blood stains, indicating that the blood had coagulated before it was put on the stain. So that means he got moved and then it fell out of him there. He also described other blood stains where that were deposited when the blood already coagulated because the blood had not run. He described the position of the body would have to be in at the time of death to create the blood patterns he found, and then also based on the lividity and the purple disc. If you don't know what lividity is, by the way, I don't know, I guess we're just assuming that everybody. Lividity is where your blood settles when you're dead. You're dead, you stay in one position, your blood's not circulating.
Body is a real gross color.
Whichever side is down, gravity takes the blood there, and that's lividity, so they can tell were they here or were they moved after lividity set in and shit like that. It's a good way to tell stuff like that. So they said that the lividity had become fixed with the body in the position in which it was found, so it was moved relatively soon after he was dead. After he was dead. They said that he had been lying on his right side when he was shot, and the body stayed in that position long enough for blood to begin to coagulate, and then it had been rolled over onto the back position, and that's how they found him. Okay. And they also said that there was a pillow over his head when he was found, covering the entrance wound to the head, indicating that the pillow had been moved onto his fucking head, obviously. Other it would be hard because it has no hole in it, so it'd be difficult. They said also there were drops of blood found around the sheet, indicating that the sheet had been moved. This is not looking good. He also said fingerprints in the blood were left by someone other than Bill based upon the position of the bedding, and his conclusion that Bill could not have moved his hand to make the prints after he was dead.
Oh, no.
You know, obviously. So let's do a search of the house.
Yeah.
They search through the house. They don't have a hard time finding anything until they get to the garage. They find Bill's motorcycle out there. Bill rides a bike, too.
Yeah, he does.
And inside of his saddlebag, they find something interesting. They find the 9mm that has been missing.
What?
Yeah. They continue the search, and they find in a laundry hamper under some washed but still wet clothing, they find the holster that goes with the gun. And then the ammunition was found on top of Bill's gun safe.
Oh, Jesus.
And 3 rounds were missing from the center of the box, so that unless the box was completely opened, it looked like upon opening from the end that it was full.
Right.
So that's
put them in the middle.
Exactly. Yeah. So they also officers say what they call what appears to be a laundry washing project that was never completed, is the way they put it. Wet laundry smelling strongly of bleach was in the hamper but had not been dried.
Oh.
Yeah. And the bullet that killed Bill and the spent shell casing were removed from the bed where he was found. Spent shell casing from the pistol was found in the yard, and an unfired round was found in the chamber of the pistol, accounting for the 3 rounds missing from the box. Now, if they brought in a botanical expert to find out, because there was a plant blossom found in the ammunition box.
Oh, shit.
A plant blossom in there, and it showed it came from a bush in the yard that had first bloomed for the season at least 6 days after Bill reported the gun missing. That's the first time those plants bloomed in that area.
Holy shit, Grissom. Slow down.
Okay.
That was impressive.
Let's go back to that.
That's pretty great.
This is good police work here. Okay. Botanical examination, they found a small flower blossom in the box and determined that those flowers didn't bloom in that area till 6 days after Bill reported it missing.
Wow.
So that has been sitting in these bushes. That box is what they determined from that, which is fucking amazing.
It was hidden.
Yeah. Expert analysis shows that the 2 spent shell casings came from Bill's gun. I don't know where the fuck the second shot was.
Yeah.
Who knows? As did the bullet that killed him. She said she didn't know anything about, and they asked Ann, you know anything about this? And she said, I don't know anything about a blossom and I didn't know anything about an ammo box, blossom, anything like that. But she said, I assume you're right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Sounds good.
When shit blooms around here.
It's a lantana. I don't know.
Yeah. At the time, both Ann and the kids were saying that Bill's gun had been missing, and they didn't know. So they keep searching. They also find a latex glove.
Oh, no.
Embedded with gunshot residue on the outside of the glove, and on the inside of the glove is Ann Stout's DNA.
Of course it is.
Not good.
God damn it, Ann.
Located in the same laundry hamper as the holster and wet laundry, but she says, I don't know how my DNA could have gotten there.
That's weird.
Maybe it fell off the laundry. I don't know. You know how DNA is. It jumps around, runs around. She said that she often used rubber gloves around the house, but she had no idea how gunshot residue with her. Maybe somebody took a glove I had used around the house. I mean, they didn't get their DNA in there sometime. Maybe they had another glove and then used this glove to frame me.
Right.
That's how we're at. Barbara is tricky. She also says nothing to do with the gun, nothing to do with the holster. Didn't know how they ended up where they were.
At that point, you just got to go, fuck. I'm so caught. When you guys
not
said you're
close
searching
yet.
the house, I had no idea you were searching the garage.
I thought, that'll be fine.
I killed him. I thought that I would get away with it.
Oh, no, there's way more here.
Boy.
They find no fingerprints from the gun or the ammunition, and no gunshot residue on Bill's hand. So it's also hard to shoot yourself in the back of the head without leaving gunshot residue on your hand. He is magic. So the search also reveals a note in Ann's handwriting in her nightstand that contained instructions on how to fire a pistol.
Stop
a
it.
Semi-automatic pistol like a Beretta, okay? And she claimed when the cop showed it to her, she said, no, that's not for a pistol. That's actually instructions for Noah on how to wash clothes in the washing machine.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't know how to do it. So this
note does not say permanent press, lady.
It's the same instruction and a gun use as it is for a washing machine.
Put one in the chamber, pull the trigger. That's how you tell your kid to put the fucking laundry in?
Say buck, motherfucker. Right? That's what you do when you put laundry in. So that's what I do, right?
Shall break yourself.
Like, what up, motherfucker? And I slam my fucking washer door shut, and I'm like, bow, cold cycle.
She's a dipshit.
And it's like, no, I'll suck your dick. And I'm like, no, motherfucker, it ain't gonna work.
I felt so bad for Ann.
Oh, yeah, I felt terrible
She's such an asshole.
So also, gets worse here.
Yeah.
A neighbor whose window faced Bill and Ann's house reported seeing lights on in the bedroom area in the middle of the night. Okay. The night that Bill was sleeping after the steak and fucking.
Right.
So the neighbors said they felt seeing the light on at that time was strange. Their lights were never on in the middle of the night in the bedroom.
Right.
So, but I mean, someone could have had to take a shit or something. I mean, or someone could have got sick. Who knows? Right. But still, this never happens before. So they're getting, let's just say, to put it lightly, suspicious of Ann. Let's just say here. Then they got a computer expert in.
Oh boy.
Her computer showed 56 internet searches for such topics as how to kill someone, how to poison someone and get away with it, how to put a person to sleep, how to make a person go to sleep, what kind of poison it can't be traced.
How can I do this without shooting a fucking gun?
How can I kill my husband, collect his life insurance, and blame it on a chick in Arkansas? She might as well have searched that. Like, it's that obvious.
James, she is so cold-blooded.
Yeah.
She tortured him for 2 fucking years.
Yeah. Well, you know what else she said about it,
What's
though, too?
that?
She said, well, all that proves is that, because Bill has access to that computer, too. That was the home computer.
All that proves he was trying to kill me?
It proves that he wanted to commit suicide, and he's been searching how to commit suicide, just like I told you.
Right.
You know, with no gunshot residue in the back of his head.
Or my fingerprints on a
With
glove.
my fingerprints on the DNA, not even fingerprints.
Right.
It's worse.
DNA.
So she is the beneficiary of the $500,000 life insurance policy, because even if he committed suicide, that shit was up in
6 months
January.
ago. Yeah.
So everybody's fine. And was also the co-owner of the real estate that they had with an equity of over $500,000. Okay. So Ann's looking at a cool $1 million in cash and prizes here.
Oh, God.
So the authorities here also said that autopsy results found that because the food in the stomach had not been digested, he must have been killed before 8 a.m., which would be before they left, which is when she was still in the house, and so was her son. So, but she had to have killed him before the son came home, otherwise he would have heard gunshots coming from the house. So sometime between 10 and 12, because he talked to someone on the phone at 10.
Right.
12, the son came home.
Right.
So somewhere from 10 to 12.
So that kid slept in the house with his dead dad and then went shopping with his murderer.
Like nothing happened.
Unbelievable.
So they interview Ann. They want to have a little chat with Ann.
Oh, boy.
They sit her down. They said, what happened? She says, I made steak and broccoli, blah, blah, blah. We had sex. He called his friend. We went to bed a little bit after 10. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all that happened. I left the next morning. He was fine. He said he didn't feel very good. So the police officer tells her that they have all the evidence to believe that actually you killed Bill, as a matter of fact, and not Barbara or some intruder. She says, quote, I can assure you that I do not, that I do know. He says, I can assure you that I do know you are the main suspect in the murder of Bill Stout. We have all the evidence and all the findings to prove that. I know that he died before he left on Sunday morning, and I have the time of death to prove that. I'm asking you these questions now for you to help me with this investigation. And she's broke into tears, screaming that she didn't kill her husband. Mm-hmm. She says, quote, you are so misinformed. You can't prove anything because you don't know. You're not informed because that didn't happen. She's very angry. She's upset that she would. How dare you say that I killed my husband?
She went full Twitter troll.
Yeah.
You're so uninformed.
You are uninformed. Here's an article that I made up and wrote, but still, it's on the internet and has a link.
Here's statistics that prove I'm right and you're wrong.
Right. She says also that she never called Barbara Miller and, threatened her and all that shit. She said she never sent any mailings to anyone with Arkansas postmarks. How did that happen? They go, well, as a matter of fact, all of the envelopes had your DNA inside of them.
Oh, no.
Even the ones that weren't sent to you, that were other people, had their DNA from looking at it, and yours. That's the only DNA we found.
How the fuck did she get it postmarked in
Interesting
Arkansas?
Here. She said, well, I have no idea how that happened. That's ridiculous. She said, I never created any of the emails. I never did any of that. She said, I didn't do that. She said that after she found out about the affair, she discovered Bill bought an airline ticket and that they were talking on the phone, Bill and Barbara, and that Bill bought phone calling cards and she didn't know about that and all that shit, and that Bill had registered with an online dating service in 2004, and that Bill obtained a post office box that she previously didn't know anything about until he was killed, and that she was angry and humiliated, and they said that the officers also found a list that she kept for it was years old. Oh, no. Like the paper was crinkly, years old, and it was titled "Really Mean Things Bill's Ever Said to Her."
Oh no!
Everything he's ever said, she literally documented it on a piece of paper. It was a list that went back years.
Wow.
Like we always say, I'm sorry, women, but it's like an inside joke among men that women will catalog shit and bring it up 8 years later, and they have it like
literally
like a card catalog at the library, and they'll whip it out. Oh well, actually, Dewey Decimal fuck up says this. You Dewey Decimal did some dumb shit on this date.
Yeah.
But she actually kept a written list for years, since the 80s.
That's hilarious. I have in my phone, I have a notes app of all the nice things that Emily's ever said.
Isn't that nice? This is crazy.
That's insanity.
Whenever she needs like a boost of "I'm mad at Bill," he said that in 1991. That bastard. Holy shit.
I use it for the opposite. Whenever I feel like shit, I'm like, Emily said this once. That feels nice.
Yeah. She was like, he made a comment about the Challenger explosion. Right. I'm upset in 2003.
I wonder if she ever does that. Like, just when she's pissed, she's like, how can I just channel this anger?
That's why she has a list,
right?
Why else would you have a list?
Why would you keep track of it?
Because you're something. So the investigation also shows that the email accounts from which everyone said Barbara Miller was messaging people were actually created on Stout's work computer.
Freakafark was from her work.
That's her work computer. She did that. And some of the emails had been sent from her home computer even. She got a little lazy after a while, you know.
Yeah. It's exhausting doing it all day at work.
Yeah. How did she get shit postmarked from where? Did she fly to Arkansas? No. Investigators were able to duplicate a Fort Smith, Arkansas postmark like the ones found on the letters that were supposedly from Barbara by mailing a stamped and addressed letter in a manila envelope from Hamilton, Montana to the postmaster in Fort Smith, Arkansas. And they send it back, and it's got the postmark on it. And it looks like, boom, there you go. That's what that is. So that's what she figured all this out.
Unreal.
She should have started a business of some kind, because if she put half of the effort that she put into this.
Get an Etsy going.
Holy shit. She would have been selling turquoise jewelry like her fucking balls were on fire.
Get into Thrive, sugar.
Yeah. Also, during the immediate search, officers found 2 letters with Arkansas postmarks in Ann's car in the garage, one sealed and one unsealed, and never sealed, basically. Right. So she hadn't sealed it yet.
Yeah.
The others, just like the others, and that started appearing that whole time. Ann's DNA was the only one found on the adhesive of the envelope postmarked from Arkansas, and this was the one that was inviting Bill's work partner to the barbecue that they had. Only that one. Everybody else had thrown the shit out, but someone still had it. The sealed Fort Smith, Arkansas envelope found in Stout's car during the search contained printed out emails purporting to be from Barbara, but they weren't. These printouts contained only Ann's fingerprints and palm print. She said that I don't know. I guess my DNA was on the envelopes. I don't know how it got there. Yeah. I can't imagine. She said that maybe unknowingly she could have handled the contents of the Arkansas mailings because sometimes she helped Bill with paperwork. Okay. Yeah. All right. They also found in Stout's bedroom a copy of the invitation to the barbecue addressed to their sons. The Stout sons. Handwriting on the invitation was supposedly from Miller, was identified as Stout's by a handwriting analysis. So she's fucked. And then I told you 56 internet searches for how to poison people, how to put people to sleep, how to kill your husband and get his life insurance policy and blame it on a chick from Arkansas. Give her a funny and give her a funny email address. So she said that she believed that these were Bill's searches, like I said. So, it's all good. I don't understand what the problem is. The police say, well, you're under arrest here, obviously. I mean,
we're going to run it through the courts. Let them think.
Yeah. She's literally like, I don't know what you're talking about. She's through all of this is a mountain, a Montana sky-sized fucking pile of evidence, and she's going, I don't know how my DNA got everywhere. That's impossible.
I don't know how you all came up with all of this.
This is crazy.
In literally 2 hours. This is crazy.
I get science and all, but come on, guys. So, she's arrested. She presented expert testimony. She says she's going to present expert testimony saying that the circumstances were consistent with either a suicide or a homicide, so he could have killed himself. That's her thing here.
Okay.
All right, lady. Well, if you say so. June of 2008, they're in court here, and this is her trial. And a central theme here is that the prosecution, obviously that Stout deliberately and methodically created a giant illusion of a stalking that never happened. Barbara had, since those emails, had never contacted him.
She was like, we got caught.
Yeah, and she was like, at first she said it was real, the ones saying that she was going to come there and go to his doorstep. Mm-hmm. And those were real. I'll be there on Memorial Day. But then once he didn't answer back, she just cooled off and stopped, and that was that.
Wow.
She came to her senses because she's sane.
Right.
And was like, well, never mind. You know what? Not worth it. And then this poor woman.
Going to put up a fight over a married man, and then he's not going to leave, and then I've just exhausted all this shit. This is dumb.
Yeah. Imagine if she didn't go to a convenience store. Imagine if she just sat home for 2 days and didn't do anything. They would have fucking went and arrested her.
James, you might be right. Wide open spaces drives you crazy.
It drives you batshit. How do you not? That's just the type of shit.
Crazy.
You're so bored. It's just, I got to create something. Shit.
I need excitement.
Start painting. Fuck, I don't know, some shit. So
not even a Lou Diamond Phillips Ed O'Neill movie can occupy my time.
No, not even Hoyt Axton can take away the pain. So the jury gets a little forensics lesson, computer forensics lesson, which is pretty fucking funny here. Yeah. There's a bunch of Montana ranchers, and they get some guy sitting down.
That's how that shit works.
Yeah, weird. I seen a button on there. Now, they say the Ann's work computer and the Stout family computer, the work computer was a laptop. They were all seized, obviously. The computers were searched for evidence. The Detective Dave Potter of the Ravioli County Sheriff's Department testified here that when he searched Ann's work computer internet history, he found someone had visited a California Supreme Court website that explained a mental defense. Oh. So this is all shit she tried to erase. So her attorney, Bill Sheehy, said that while the computer's history might indicate someone visited the website, there's no way to know who that person might be. Several other employees used the same computer. So he then so they turned they did the chief computer forensic agent for the state's computer crime unit. He's the only guy in Montana who knows how to work a computer here.
He's the chief.
Yeah, he testified to conducting detailed computer forensics on requested computers in search of evidence to the alleged crime. He gives a 2-hour presentation here. He says, quote, "Computers don't delete things the first time you ask them to. I have tools to obtain, find, and print any evidentiary relevance." So they talk about how she found the creation of 2 email addresses in the name of Barbara Miller. The history showed the creation of emails from the Yahoo server in Barbara's name. Also provided a list of contacts within the email's address book and several email messages sent to Bill and several of the couple's friends that she sent all of those, obviously. Mm-hmm. One message titled "Old Friends and Lovers Never Go Away" detailed the relationship between Bill and Barbara and mentioned a pregnancy. That was sent from a created account in Barbara's name on Ann's computer. Oh, no. Crazy. So the prosecutor says, so you're telling the jury that somebody sitting at that computer had to create these emails because the computer's history shows someone logged in and out of those specific email addresses? And he said, obviously, yes. They said they asked if he could prove who created the email since the household laptop was used by several people. He said he couldn't tell the jury who created the accounts, but only someone that knew how to log on to Ann's laptop would be able to create these accounts, obviously. So they go into a bunch of shit. He said the words most frequently searched on Ann's laptop were, quote, "how to kill someone." Mm-hmm. That's the first most popular search.
That's not good.
"Common household poisons," "how to put someone to sleep," "how to poison someone," "homemade poisons," "how to poison someone and get away with it," "untraceable poisons," and, quote, "how to make a sleeping formula."
Why do people Google this stuff?
Stop doing every time the crime they go, he could this and that and this. The what's his name? The guy, the Watts guy.
Yeah.
His girlfriend that he was with, like, on her thing, she searched, do people hate the chick that was going out with Scott Peterson? Like, she literally was searching that shit. It's like, stop, you're embarrassing yourself.
Don't do that.
Go to a library and do that if you have to do it. Go, you sit next to a homeless man who's jacking off and fucking look up the shit you need to look up. But don't.
That's where you deserve to be doing that scuzzy shit.
That's what I mean. So, also on the workplace computer, they found commonly searched words on that computer were divorce, planning a divorce, and Barbara Miller. A little obsessed, I would say here. Imagine this is... her brain must have been a horribly noisy place to be for that last couple of years.
The amount of pages that would show up for Barbara Miller, she would just be scrolling for hours.
Did she lose her mind when her son died, do you think?
It's the trigger. It's got to be it, right?
The trigger? Is that the hoarders that makes you have... That's the hoarders moment that makes you have 12 dead cats in your house.
The moment of the son dead is definitely a trigger. I think the push it over the edge is when the husband starts blaming you for that.
Yeah,
I think I think those coupled, she couldn't get over it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Going back and forth, who the hell knows? Yeah, that wasn't a good move.
And that may be why she didn't.
The affair doesn't help either.
But that may be why she didn't want to go to Arkansas with him, because she doesn't want to go out. I don't want to fucking go. My son's dead. Then you blame me for it.
Yeah, but 5 years later, you got to either
Who knows?
get a divorce.
This is 2 years later after an affair.
But 5 years,
nothing compared to your kid's suicide.
5 years is the time where you go, either we're getting divorced or we're getting over this. Like, what are we fucking doing here? How goddamn long are we going to fucking...
Who's going to put who through the most here?
Yeah, that's what I mean. What are we, having a competition for this shit? This is ridiculous. So Anne testifies.
She does.
Oh, she gets up on that stand. Man, that's balls. She says, quote, "My life was very happy with Bill. We had a good life together. Wow. We were making plans to possibly move up to Big Fork, making plans for vacation and building a new house." She's acting like, I don't know what happened. Everything was great. Now, her attorney asked her if she was currently, this is as time of trial 1 year later, in a romantic sexual relationship with anyone. And she says, quote, "Yes, I currently have a boyfriend.
Oh, my.
I met him around Thanksgiving last year at one of Matt's sports banquets."
What?
One of her sons.
She showed up at the parent come to the banquet thing, and you left with a boyfriend.
And you left with a boy, and the boyfriend's not like, "You killed your husband. I'm not dating you." Don't you have a trial coming up soon?
At least Google her name, bro. What are you doing,
dude? They let her out on bail, and she's what?
Oh my!
Well, I mean, who's he to be like, yeah, this is going to work out? You have a murder trial coming up. Why do people do this of both genders? I don't get it. So Matt, the son, testifies as well. He gets on the stand here. He says that he had nothing to do with his father's death.
Obviously,
clearly he wasn't home. He says that he didn't help move his dad's body. He didn't do anything like that. He didn't mislead law enforcement. He didn't know anything. His mom yelled. He said that he didn't hear anything unusual on the night of June 10th, not even a gunshot. I like how in Montana, I mean, that's not even that unusual. I didn't hear anything unusual. Not even a gunshot. I usually hear tons of those. Isn't that weird? Like, not even crickets. Like, that's how he said it. Strange.
Not even a gunshot.
Not even roosters in the morning. So he spent the entire...
That would be the most weird thing that I would hear at night. Is that a fucking gunshot?
Normally, people, did you hear anything last night? I mean, it was a gunshot. Yeah, it was a lot. But he was like, no, I didn't hear anything. Gunshot? No, not even that. No. Normally, I wouldn't even mention that. But since you asked, I didn't even hear that either. Unusual would be like, a black guy. That would be strange. Here. I haven't seen one around this time, and I don't know when the hell last time was.
Not a prayer rug, nothing.
I saw a Will Smith movie about 10 years back. Jesus Christ. No yarmulkes. They don't even sell them at the knick-knack store. They don't even sell Western yarmulkes. Wide-brimmed yarmulkes. Big old sun brim on a yarmulke. It only sits on a very small part of your head. It's a very wide brim.
I want one of those.
I'm going to make those. You know what? Can we make those?
A beach yarmulke.
I'm making that. They probably have them. Because Israel is it's
a very sunny
beachy country. Yeah, so maybe they have that. I don't know. So... if not, that would be awesome. I'm sorry.
Because I've seen a Jewish hat that's a wide brim, but it covers the whole head.
Well, yeah,
I want it on the fucking yarmulke spot.
I want a yarmulke that happens to have a giant wide Clint Eastwood brim. That's what I'm looking for. A Western yarmulke.
It's damn near a bonnet. That's what I want.
Kind of, yeah. A Western. I want a Western. Give me the Western, please. So... no gunshots, no anything. Said he spent the day shopping in various places, and while his father had plans to horseback ride, he said they returned to the home. His mom found his dad dead, and he said he helped his mother put away groceries and then went down to the family's basement and played on the computer. Then he heard his mom yelling and screaming and telling him to come upstairs and to get out of the house.
Yeah.
He said, quote, "I didn't understand what was happening. All I heard was my mother screaming at me to get out of the house. I followed her. We drove my dad's truck down to our neighbors while my mom called 911. I had no idea what was happening. I just overheard my mom talking to 911 about something happened to my dad." And he also says that his father, because they said, was your father good at computers? Just to knock out the suspicion that he was the one creating stuff. Right. And he said that he was his father was not very good at computers at all and sometimes needed help from the kids. Mm-hmm. He's not a computer guy. He's a fucking rancher.
Right.
He doesn't care about computers. He's a 50-year-old rancher.
Who's excited, jacked about going horseback riding.
Yeah, he doesn't care about that shit.
He hasn't even found out that there's porn there.
Exactly. He doesn't even know about it yet. He'd be like, whoa, this is amazing.
Show me more.
We're closing down the ranch. Those horses to fuck themselves.
I won't be here to feed them because I've got to take a computer class at the community college.
A lot of them. I got them all lined up. They, of course, asked Matt if he created the email addresses and all that stuff, and he said no.
Yeah.
Clearly not. He also says that he knew about the alleged affair between his father and Barbara. He says that we never really talked about it. My mom briefly told me about the situation, but I never personally talked about to my dad about it. Because that's an awkward thing when you're 15 to bring up to your dad. Right. How the fuck would you bring that situation? Hi, Dad. So you getting some strange, or how do you bring that up?
I got a letter, Dad, that says I got a stepmom.
Are you? Want
to elaborate?
Baby brother coming? Am I finally getting that baby brother I've been wanting? No?
Is that a thing?
Do I have a new mom now? So the verdict comes in here. The jury deliberates for 6 hours, which seems like too long in this case. Like,
that's fast, though.
You get them out and you go, I don't know what else the other solution there could be here. So 6 hours of deliberation. This is for deliberate murder is the charge in Montana. And they find Ann Stout guilty of deliberate murder.
Boy.
They said the prosecutor was happy. He said this was a classic CSI story, and there was an incredible amount of computer and technology work that went into it. None of that would have been possible think about like 1980 if this happened.
Right.
They would have been fucked.
Right.
They wouldn't have known. Outside of one fingerprint on a letter, they would have had no evidence, and they probably would have went and arrested Barbara Miller.
There's a fucking dead flower in here. This bullshit.
This is crazy. Yeah, they would have. They literally would have been like, someone got their plants in it. I don't know what's going on. They wouldn't even have looked at it.
How are they storing their fucking ammo?
Weird. He said there were so many aspects to the case and we did our best to try to make our case as concise as possible. And he said that they did their jobs, but the real victims in the case are the family members of Ann Stout. Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
Now he said that this is fucking great. Oh no, that's the defense attorney. They said that they worked tirelessly. The prosecution, blah blah blah. They were very congratulatory to themselves, which they did a good job. I got to say.
Yeah.
So they said that the public defender that defended Barbara, Ed Sheehy, called the verdict a result. He said it was he didn't call it a miscarriage of justice. He said it's a result of the legal process. Then he said,
I'll try again one day.
Yeah. Then he said, quote, that's how our system works. I guess they felt as though I didn't raise enough reasonable doubt. And then he lowered his head and he walked away, and Winnie the Pooh came up next to him and tried to cheer him up. I guess they thought I felt as though I didn't raise enough reasonable doubt. Bye, Pooh Bear.
Y'all seen my tail?
Bye, Pooh Bear. He just, hold on, don't forget your tail, Eeyore. So sentencing comes around. The prosecutors are recommending a sentence of life without the possibility of parole. And they said that she subjected her husband to 2 years of public and private humiliation.
Yes. That's the cold-hearted shit part.
Of mental torment.
Wow.
Before shooting him after she discovered an affair. Yeah, if you want to kill him after the affair, just kill him and get it over with. Jesus Christ. So her family testifies. They asked if they could, the one Noah asked that a second chance be given to his mom by asking for a possibility of parole. He says that it's what his father would have wanted, which I'm not sure about that.
Also, poor Noah's lost his brother, now his mom, now his dad.
It's tragic,
Noah
man.
Feels like shit.
That's what Matt through all of this, he's in high school playing sports and shit.
Wow.
Like, he graduates in 2009. This whole thing happens in 2008.
He hung through?
Yeah, he's in high school from 05 to 09.
Wow.
So imagine my grades, I would have fucking ran away.
I'd have been a mess.
I'd have been a mess. This kid buckles down and plays sports and does well for himself. Like, that's amazing to me.
Buried myself in mess.
Good job. I don't know about Noah was in college. Hopefully he did well too, but I just found proof that Matt did. He says, Noah says, quote, this hearing is justice for my father. When I think of justice for him, I don't see that as his grandchildren getting to know their grandmother by putting their hand against a piece of bulletproof glass. He says that he wasn't there to ask the judge to disregard the verdict, but, quote, to give my mother no chance ever again. That isn't the right thing. It's not something my father would have wanted. And Stout's mother here, this is Ann's mother, told the judge that she still believes her daughter wasn't even guilty.
Wow.
Which is, You got to listen to that trial and then go, I don't see how she did it. You got some sack on you, lady.
Holy shit.
Fuck.
Also, Noah, I think your dad might be okay with her going. Yeah. If he found out
she deserved it,
that she did all this shit for 2 years, he doesn't know.
He'd have shot her out in the field like a fucking
like a sick cow.
Like a broken horse. So
like a horse that stepped in a hole.
That was be caused by a sick cow.
Right.
So the mothers here said, quote, mothers know their children. I know that my daughter is a good individual. I wish that I had been able to protect my daughter from this terrible ordeal. What about Bill? He's dead. She manipulated this. Jesus Christ.
She's acting like her daughter's a victim.
Yeah. Her brother, Stout's brother, whose name is Jose Luis Moreno somehow. I don't know how the fuck that happened.
Brother? Sounds like mom found a fucking Latin guy sliding on her, wanting her, taking her.
I guess. Well, the father disappeared when she was 4. So his mother probably found other people. He says that Bill Stout's death left a large void in the family's life, and sentencing Stout to life without a chance for parole would just make it worse for all of us and her children. We all love her. We haven't given up on her, and we never will. Okay. Anne says in her statement,
I can't wait.
She just very simple. She asked that she be allowed to have parole someday and the chance to return to her family as quickly as possible to help her sons recover from the loss of their father. She says, quote, allow our family the seeds of hope. And the judge says, he says that he didn't find any mitigating circumstances at all. Nothing on your side here for the murder in a pre-sentence report. Said that she failed to show any remorse for the killing. He said, quote, from every indication, your reaction was more intense than one might expect. Yeah. Than the average affair. You began a lengthy, really troubling campaign of vindictive, serendipitous attacks on Bill, and not just directed to him, but to your own children, family, and neighbors, everybody important in Bill's life. It was really, really extreme behavior. This is coming from a judge.
Yeah.
It went on for months. You never trusted Bill after that. You thought he was devious. I think Bill was probably doomed from that point on. All of that indicates some degree of lack of emotion. 2 years of this shit. Mm-hmm. Your children will be deprived of your company. It's not because you've been convicted of the crime. It's because you've committed the crime. Ooh. You, ma'am, may fuck off. Life with the possibility of parole.
Okay.
But life anyway. Door open for parole, but he specifically made parole parameters here that she's open for parole, but only after she is psychologically evaluated and completed any recommended mental health treatment.
Oh, that's going to be never.
He's like, you're fucking whacked. Yeah. So until you're not whacked, this is going to happen again if we let you out.
Absolutely.
She appeared to suffer from an inability to accept reality, he says, which won't be cured by a few counseling sessions. This is what the judge is telling her. He says, quote, Ms. Stout has a great deal of soul searching and mental health work for this rehabilitation to ever even be possible in this case. And also they say that she's going to have to pay court costs accrued here because she lost from the state public defender's office and other courts. They told the public defender costs $15,000. And then the prosecuting attorney challenged the amount, saying a more realistic fee for the homicide defense would be, this is crazy, would be between $70,000 and $100,000.
He wants her paying much more.
Yeah. He says, quote, there's a whole segment of the population out there who are paying for this defendant's defense, and the $15,000 estimate looks like a 1985 bill. Judge, it's 2008. It's going to cost more than that. Bullshit. So they said they set a hearing for it later on, and whatever.
I'm sure the judge felt very, very well respected being corrected like that.
Right?
In public.
Thanks, asshole.
Judge, it's 2008.
Really?
Is it, you motherfucker?
Thanks, dude. Appreciate it.
We're going to have a chat, me and you.
I'll go look at my calendar in there. So she appeals quickly on this. She says that her main points are whether the district court properly allowed expert reports. She was saying there shouldn't have been any expert reports on the flour, on this, on all the forensics.
Right.
She said, how is that? How do you have literally they were challenging, like, there's no expertise in forensics. Like, that's the type of crazy shit they were saying. Like, they were really grasping at straws.
And in 2008, CSI's been on the air for 8 years.
Yeah.
They are mad professionals.
The prosecutor said it was a CSI case. That was his statement. The other thing she's saying is that her whole campaign of trying to, all the letters and emails and all that should have not been admissible because she's saying that's part of a separate act. And that separate act that she's not charged for here shouldn't be involved in this.
Oh.
Obviously, the prosecution's saying, well, that's all one act with the murder.
Right.
You don't see. So if you rape and murder someone, that's separate charges. Right. Well, I wanted to rape them, and those were separate thoughts I had.
Yeah.
No, they'd all go together. That's the point. You did this in order to do that.
Right.
So she says no, and that goes on a big argument. They really take they try real hard here to do this. She also says that the officers shouldn't have searched the saddlebags found on the motorcycle in the garage because the motorcycle was not specifically listed in the search warrant as one of the vehicles. It says whole property, house, garage, this vehicle, that vehicle, this vehicle, but the motorcycle's not on there.
Listen, it's in the garage.
It's in the garage. Her contention is that it exceeded the scope of the warrant by looking into the saddlebag. Well, if the gun wasn't sitting on the fucking handlebars, where is it then?
Right. Yeah.
You have to look inside things, for Christ's sake.
Well, you just look at the toolbox. You don't look in it. It's the same thing. It's in the fucking garage, lady.
Otherwise, you just hide things under things, and nobody can ever find anything. Oh, you're innocent, I guess.
That was under the bed.
Oh, damn it. As long as you don't leave it on the kitchen table, I guess you're fine. So they said that the district court denied that, holding that the premises to be searched were described with particularity, including the attached garage, and that a search of the garage and whatever containers and receptacles were located in the garage that might hold a firearm related to the death of Bill were permissible, which makes perfect fucking sense here. She says that so fucking ridiculous. She said that her attorney was ineffective in limiting the scope on which evidence could be considered by the jury. So to not limit, he didn't limit the scope enough. Okay. Basically, he didn't get all of the forensic evidence excluded and all of the computer evidence and, all the evidence that she left behind. So that's his fault.
It's his fault. There's a mountain.
Yeah, it's
like, look, bitch, they've got all this.
Yeah,
There's nothing I can do.
Yeah,
you take 5 things out of that.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. No, this is a complete Jenga thing. Yeah. You can take a shitload of pieces out, and that bitch still stands, and you know exactly what the fuck it is.
Yeah.
You know it's not a pile of Jenga. No. It's a fucking standing thing. You take 5 things out of a Jenga, you could punch it, and it's not going anywhere. It's solid as shit. So the judge disagreed. He said there was evidence presented at trial indicating email accounts in the name of her had been created by you. Also that your DNA is fucking everywhere, and it shouldn't have been, obviously, and that your main defense is that your husband committed suicide was asinine.
Crazy.
Yeah, and not raised by the attorney charged with presenting the appeal because he said, how the fuck would you shoot someone in the back of the head with no gunshot residue? I can't present that to a judge and expect them to... I'm
gonna be disbarred.
No, I gotta work here. Like, I come here all the time. This guy,
you're gonna go into a room with bars.
Hey, you're never gonna see this asshole again. I gotta come back in front of him and be embarrassed that I tried to pull this shit off in his court. He's never gonna look at me the same. He's gonna look at me like a jerk off the rest of my life.
I'm gonna be representing a kid for theft, and he didn't do it. And the judge, remember that time? Come on, man.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. So it's nuts. So the decision here, he writes in his decision that any evidence that her husband committed suicide was scant at best, contradicted by a number of facts, including that the husband was shot in the back of the head while laying on the bed. His body was moved after death. Drops of blood were found either under the sheet, under the sheet that covered him. The gun was nowhere near the bed where he was shot, or even in the bedroom. It's really difficult to shoot yourself in the back of the head with a fucking through and through.
Right.
It comes out with brain matter, and then get up and put the gun in your saddlebag in the garage and go back to your fucking house, back to bed. That's impressive.
I gotta go die.
Yeah, I don't even want to get up to piss when I have to. And then when I wake up,
start a laundry project and be like, I don't have time to do this. I'm bleeding out.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. He said this evidence was acknowledged, unchallenged, and notably unexplained by the defense. You, ma'am, may continue to fuck off for a very long time, including right now, where she is an inmate of the Montana Women's Prison at 701 South 27th Street in Billings, Montana.
Oh,
they have a phone number. I don't know why you want to call them. Well, you can call and say that she's an asshole if you want. It's 406-247-5100.
Hey, good morning. Is Ann still there?
Oh, you got Ann there? Yeah.
Ann Miller still there? Great.
Total dick, right? That's what I thought. Yeah. I thought so. I knew it. I knew. She's a fucking liar. So that is Darby, Montana.
Hey, has Ann started some counseling yet?
She available to talk? So that's Darby, Montana, and boy, that is a wild case. That's like this was a take a break from the gore week.
Yeah.
Because it's Halloween month, so we're going to have a couple crazy ones here coming up at the end. But I was like, let's have a twisted story.
Yeah.
You know, one of these like murder mystery movies rather than
certainly hate somebody hard.
Yeah, and then shift it completely to somebody else. That's a great story when that
hate
happens.
Somebody hard for deserved none of it.
None of it. She
Poor
just,
thing.
I mean, she shouldn't have screwed a married guy, but that's not her problem. She's not married to him. That's his fucking fault. So she's just banging her high school sweetheart. What do you know?
Oh, boy.
So hope you enjoyed that. Montana, hope you guys liked being back again. Sorry it took 2 years to get back to you. You do have a crazy state, so we should talk about it more. If you like that show, get on Apple Podcasts, that purple icon, and tell us all about it, please. It helps us out a lot because you're not really telling us about it. You're telling others about it because when people look for shows to listen to, they look at reviews.
Right.
They do. They go, well, what's that? You know, and they see. So it helps a lot to have those reviews on there. So thank you, guys.
Don't just write Freakofark.
Yeah, don't just write Freakafark. Write something half decent and then end it with Freakafark, like Freakofark wrote it. So do that, please.
Screen name Freakofark.
Oh, it's going to be somebody's Twitter handle by the end of the day. You know it. By midnight tonight, Arizona time, someone will have a Freakafark.
I love that we found out how
Twitter
bad
handle.
you are at license plates.
I'm the worst at them, dude. It's so dumb.
Screen name.
I am license plate illiterate. I am worse at license plates than you are at producers. Fucking terrible at it.
You can't, but that's not your fault because you're trying to read real words and you're trying to make real words out of not real words.
What?
And I'm over here trying to make real words out of real fucking words. And I can't do it.
But names don't make sense, though. They're in other languages. I get it.
There are no Freakafarks.
No, none of those things there. So, yes, do all of that here. If you want to be, well, actually, we'll get to that part. If you want to follow the show, do that also. On social media, we are at Murder Small on Twitter, at Small Town Pod on Facebook, and at Small Town Murder on Instagram here. And if you head over to shutupandgivememurder.com, you can find all those links as well. And you can find merchandise, links to the Threadless site, and also tickets to virtual live show October 29th, and it's going to be up for 48 hours after it airs.
Yeah.
And we are going to do the all-violent felon edition of the Prisoner Dating Game. If you haven't seen it yet, present 4 bachelors, 4 bachelorettes, all incarcerated.
Yeah.
And I choose they're incarcerated for terrible things. And I make sure nobody's, the story doesn't sound sketchy. Like, I make sure these are terrible people that have done awful things, okay? So find those. We'll show you guys the pictures of them, and you'll hear the description. You'll get to see Jimmy make his selection process sight unseen, of course, and more importantly, crime unseen.
Yes.
And he will select one lucky fella and one lucky lady.
Right.
And at the end, we will then show him who he's chosen, and more importantly, tell him who he's chosen.
What they've done.
And then you'll find out what everybody else did also.
Find out who they are and then who they are.
And then everybody, as you're watching these people, everybody at home, they're going to be guessing what they did.
Yeah.
So then we'll tell you what everybody else did too, give you a synopsis. It's so much goddamn fun, the all-violent felon.
And thank you to all of you that have already bought tickets.
Yeah, we
awesome.
appreciate it.
There's a lot of you. Keep coming. I can't wait to see you guys there.
Can't wait to do it. So please
when is that?
That is October 29th. It's a Thursday right before Halloween.
Right.
Can't wait to see you guys there. That's going to be a good shit there. So thank you guys for doing that. Also, if you want bonus material, bonus, you can do that very easily as well. You can be a Patreon donor, and you can get tons of stuff, including this week's bonus episodes. Crime and Sports bonus episode is sports team songs, actual athletes singing songs for this. It's ridiculous and hilarious. We're going to play the songs and mock these idiots. It's going to be so much fun. Even like the old wrestling albums, all that shit.
Dead serious.
And then the Small Town Murder one, I've been holding back for Halloween because it's so much fun. It is 3 young ladies in the modern era, by the way, the last 15 years or something, who decide they want to try to resurrect or something, bring back to life, not resurrect, but channel Jack the Ripper.
Yeah.
They're going to using a young man and an axe. That's their plan.
Collectively, how many cats do they own? A
lot. Nowadays, a lot.
Yeah.
I'm sure, because that's in their past. No one will be with them, I'm sure. Everybody's scared. They're like, oh, God, they're going to kill me. So check that story out. It's
Lonely Ladies.
It is fucking insane.
Great.
They're young, too. That's
really?
Yeah, this isn't like a bunch of 50-year-old ladies. This is like... Not that that's old, but I mean, they're like young. It's a crazy ass story. Patreon.com/crime and sports. Anybody over the $5 level gets access to everything there. And if you just want to be a wonderful person and just get your name mispronounced by Jimmy brutally at the end of the show, you can do that easily by donating on Patreon, and any amount will get you that on Patreon. And I was getting that, and on PayPal.
Right.
So PayPal is you use our email address, crimeandsports@gmail.com. That's also a good way to get a hold of the show. Yeah. That said, damn it, Jimmy, after this dirty, filthy story, I need to hear some people who would never, ever start a campaign of intimidation and falsities to make us feel paranoid in our own homes and then shoot us in the back of the head and try to make it look like a suicide. Hit me with the names, Jimmy.
This week's executive producers are Jeff Thompson, William Valencia, Melissa Swigert donated both ways. Thank you very much. Amanda Jackson, Nicole Hodgson, James Hooper, Danica Ferner, Tim Peterson, Thomas Smith, Clay Thorson. Thank you very much,
Thanks, Clay. Always, you're the best.
He goes above and beyond constantly. I can't thank you enough, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
Melissa Turner, and also in memory of Deidre, who was the victim of the ultimate domestic violence. It's fucking horrific, but thank you very much, Melissa.
Thank you.
Keep your friend Deidre alive via that. Jordan Bennett, Zach Warburton, Joseph Nygaard, I think, and boy, oh boy, I hope
so.
Yeah. Marissa Cole, and other producers this week are Laura Fields, Laura Mikolo, Kimberly Morlong, Angie Clements, Joshua Neal Clements, Melinda Cigidio?
Sure.
Nope, that's not right.
No?
There's probably another S in there that I'm missing. And this one's even worse. Bishigo Bado Budubue. That's not right either. Beishigo. I'm going to give it a go.
Your tongue gave up in the middle of that name. And just
Beishigo Bobwakwe. That ain't right either, but thank you. Anne Catherine Goistel. Nick Burke. Nope, that's Zach. What the fuck? Daniel Uliula. Loretta Crouch, Martha Radley, Haley Miller, Maura Poser, I think. Pozek.
Hey.
Yep, that's it. Jake, she's not. Jesus. Jacob Holt, S. White. That's not a first name. It's just an S, period.
Yeah,
White.
Like Harry S. Truman.
Right.
Hunter S. Thompson.
Elizabeth Geiger, Ellen Weber, Bonnie Yarborough, Susan Furman, Nathan Boys, Scott Lack, Christy Biley, I think, Brooke Foster, Brandon Morgan, Tamara Sammer, Matt Webster of the Webster Fortune, obviously. Those dictionaries make a shitload of money. Kelly Escobar, Brandon Morgan, Tamara Sammer, I said that. Matt would know last name, Joshua Anderson, Catherine Goolsby, Laura LeBlanc, Bradley Hughes, Eric Hansen, Stacy Fries, Justin Long, Caroline Stahlgren, Carolyn probably. That's a proper woman's name right there, Stahlgren. I don't know. Danny Burgess, Carol. That's what I do in my head while I'm writing this. I'm like, that's a proper gal there.
I
have no fucking idea.
That's a hell of a name there.
Never met her. Carol Dolgan, Danny Burgess. I said that. What is this? Poib Fair, Todd Prince, Shanika Freeman, Colin Dean, MJ Jularble. God damn it. Stephanie Cerniak, Eden Kosar. Is that Eden or Eater? I don't know. Robert Larson, Katie White, Cecilia Erickson, Rebecca Oxford. Oh, the Oxford Dictionary.
Oh, Jesus, they're fighting.
So much.
Hey, listen, guys, we're not going to take a side. We're not going to take a side in the dictionary war. I know you want us
Oxford, to. Webster, like the Hatfields and McCoys.
I mean, we're not going to do it.
You guys put whatever words you want in there.
Because, I mean, then we got to get into the Britannica people. Right. They also want to take their side. We're not fucking doing it.
Whichever one has whatnot in it is the one that can go fuck themselves. Chase with no last name, Misha Robinson, Rebecca Johnston, Shaylin Warren, Dustin Thornton, Tiffany Madori, or Mador, Matter. I don't know. Chris Beddard, Mackenzie Hole, Joe with no last name, Elizabeth Gray, Michelle Fournier, Laura Fritch, Brianna Gallagher, Whitney Lentz, Jason Bird, I hate cream of mushroom.
Don't blame you.
I don't know.
Gross.
It makes a nice
if you mix it with other things, I think it's okay. But you don't want to eat it with a spoon.
I think green bean casserole is the only thing that it makes.
I don't eat
Outside of that, nobody eats that shit.
The only casserole I eat is lasagna.
That person's on to something.
or something.
Ashley with no last name. Alex Zanger, Cameron Burke, Dana Miller, Chief Stride, Lori Blair, Michael Malitz, Eye of the Newt, Aurora Borealis. I guess she's a witch. Rachel Schmidt, Nick Lalogia, Eli Jones. I know that was a lot of assumption.
Monty Python. Well, it's a Monty Python.
Right.
Yeah, I get it.
Lauren M. Thorpe, Aaron Siestra, Corinne Cook, Benjamin with an E? I don't know. Amanda
Benjamin.
Shahheim, S-J-A-A Heim. Shaw, right? I don't.
Yeah.
Jesus. Jules Bro, Damaris Crump, Love Bond. That's easy. Victoria Blocker, Taylor Zuber, Adam Slade Bennett, Selena Herrera, CJ with no last name, Holly Barnes, Emily Evans, Joe Pezzi, right? Danielle Gindra, Ruth Twing, Candace Olevnik, G. Wayne Peterson, Meredith Honkanen, who also sent a really nice email, and for whatever reason in my head, I can't remember it right now, but it was great. Thank you, Meredith.
Appreciate you.
Ray Sanders, Brett Arkin, Chase Twig. It's Cassie. Sorry, Jesus. Brianne Poland.
Wow, big difference.
It's a different gender entirely. Well,
maybe. Who
what
knows?
Am I? Again, assuming. What are you, a witch?
A lot of us.
Jamie Carter, Alicia with no last name, Ashley B. Mac. Nope, that's Moz C. Jose. Is that Jose? Lizaraga, Leah Dickey, Ernestine Bien Ami, Aaron and Matthew May, Adam Cheney, Slum Nuts, Mike Swede, Natalie Elrod, Dawn Juarez, Michael Kerwan, Molly Jimerson, Matt Bush, Duran maybe, Peterson, Paige Stupiensky, Christopher Sietz, Mahzeen Amin.
You're on a roll, Jimmy.
I know. Jason McFadden.
Go, Jimmy, go.
Olivia Hanna, Dawson Rubb. I think that's Rubb. 2 B's is Rubb, yeah. Meredith, no, that's Mr. Middletown and Silly Lily. Bob had a boy and it's a boy, obviously.
Wow.
Well, they wrote it all together. Bob had a baby, it's a boy. What was that? 1-800-COLLECT?
You said Bob had a boy, it's a boy.
Did
first.
I?
Yeah, you said Bob had a boy, it's a boy.
Listen, I'm a dummy.
Yeah.
Amanda Feliciano, Tammy Smith, Olivia Hanna, I said that. Dawson Robb, I said that. Brad Miller, Jim Wells, Leslie Graham, I think that. Yep. Amanda Huber, Angelella. Fuck. Kendra Reeder, Colin
Almost.
Burke. Well, listen, if you can hear this, I am struggling. My fucking ribs are crushing me. Nicole Bauman, Vicky Brown, Abby Puckett, Grant Sullivan, Ashes Murphy, Glenn Swain, Beck Slack. Yep. Veronique Elwood, Lindsay Wilson, Nick Becklouf. Fuck.
Is he a Montreal?
Yeah,
is he a Canadian biker? French-Canadian biker?
I'm sure he is.
Okay.
He's got chaps and all that.
Oh, no.
Zachariah Harris, Kimberly Keller, Kaylee Kudulis, Monica Lemmings, Haley Wigant, Charles Young, Jason Pruest, Brooke with no last name, Dylan Shaw, Jordan Simmons, Bruce Friedlander. Did I say Jordan Bennett in the other one? I think I did.
Jordan Bennett. We'll say her again. She's the best.
I just saw Jordan. I was like, I don't know that I read that. Bruce Friedlander, Jason McFadden, Patty Kelly, Josh Doyen, Jesus, Guy Amster, door-to-door salesman, Lisa Leach, or Jeech, that's what that is. It's a J, not an L. They're spelled a different way. James Wines, Anna with no last name, John with no last name, Ron McClaskey, Beth Casto, Adam Tunnel, Erica Fox, Angela Hayes, Teresa Green, Tom McLeod, Laurel Clark, Megan Spivey, yep, Cameron S., Sherry Harrington, Slug Bugley, Amy Navarrete, Kaylee Curtis, Kayla Quarles, Natalie Thompson, Jane Stradwick, Avery Pollock, M. Johnson, Abby Golder, Jen Holder, Betsy Nelson, what is this? Primeka, Rich. Fuck. Emily Dennis, Steve Westerberg, Ultramus, what? Ann Garman, Ryan Fink, Colin Kemp, Caitlin Blum, Beth K, Jess Fumana, Rochelle Hurd, Amanda Lohman, Holly Scott Jones, Michelle Frazic, Marcy Abrams, Wyatt Anderson, Elizabeth Rapp. Holy shit, we're not done yet. God damn it, this hurts.
These people are awesome.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. Patrick Hovey, Arana, nope, that's Hannah. Hannah Hicks, Mallory Hillary Fanton, Andrea Hansen, Hannah Orme, Tori Durden, Katie Fee, Celeste Sibert, Abby Lewandowski, Catherine Merchant, Melissa Lowe, Deborah Tarum, Isaac Ibarra, Scott Busain. Busain. Jillian Clannon. God damn it. Gabriel Blazaz. That's a tough one, man. Christopher Turnbull. Sarah with no last name. Noah Sad as a ball. Satizabal, right? Because it's Spanish.
Yeah.
Not sad as a ball.
Not sad as a ball.
Not sad like my balls.
Like a license plate.
Not sad like a 40-year-old's balls.
Sad like my sagging balls.
Megan Cook, Christopher Turnbull, I said that. Nicole Rooney, Harry Penis, of course. Melissa Ricks, Jenny Bukowski, Dana Eastman, Walker Mock, Kira Makutatis, Elijah Vale, Ariel Childress, so well. I know, Sundance Lafort, Lil Drumgold, Jamie Hensley, Elizabeth Long, Paul O'Callahan, Jorge Torres, Lori Smith, Ola Cerniaca, Dakota Harrington, Greg Cox, Juan Chito Suarez, Rachel Sincere, I think, Ashley Vio, James Martyr, Megan Van Sweden, Wayne Cooper, Pretty Bookworm, Ashlyn Dean, Thomas Smith, Susanna Platt, Camille Heath Pritchard, Ryan Cook, Cesar Oregon, Frank Tripodi, Peyton Meadows, Issa Kafina, Sean Lucas, Andrew Hughes, Rachel Becker, Olivier Oliver, God damn it, Mackenzie, Janice Kraft, Ryan Moss is a bitch. I don't know if you know that.
Wow.
I know that.
It's aggressive.
Kiara Holland, Brittany Lewis, Amanda Knight, Eric Warnham, Caitlin and Angela, George Washington King, all right, Shelby Landolt, Elizabeth Zohar, Katie Hennessy, Rachel, nope, that's Elizabeth Fernandez, Lindsay Gilbert, Monica, Monique DeLuffy, Monkey DeLuffy, I don't know, Heather Overhouse, Darius and Zozja, Koranzewski.
Wow.
Probably not. Carly Mann, Krista Medler, Bren Kolmaka, I don't know what I wrote, if that's an R or a K. Lisa, or it's an L. Kolmala. Hey, now, got it. Lisa Mueller.
We don't know.
I don't know. Michelle Kelso, Julia Schuster, Alyssa Linnell, Anne-Marie Bacon, Lauren with no last name, Jake Holt, Darnell Nix, Zachary Comeau, David Barnhart, Janice Hill, Delinda Andrews. Hang in there, girl. She sent an email that was brutal, man. Hang in there.
Sorry about that.
It's going to get better, I hope. Katarzyna Niedzolka. I'm getting fucking great at that one. Abdul John. Anne-Marie Bacon. I said that. Darnu Nix. Nick Romeo. Zoe Borders. Mike Tappy. Cassie McMahon. Shane Anderson. Corey with no last name. Mac Ray. I think that's Mac. Yes, Mac Ray. Jake Holt, I said that. Megan Ariza, Lauren Vogt, Alex with no last name. Shannon Kampf. Maria Peak, Shawnee Boswell, Lisa Olson, in honor of Pregnancy Loss Awareness Month. I don't know if you know that was this month.
I didn't.
Alyssa Linnell, Brendan Abels, Nancy Little, Oscar Cortez, and Sanel is Siwi Nintini. Somebody named
Closing strong, Jimmy.
Nintendo. Thank you guys, truly. You changed my life.
Thank you, everybody, so much. Honestly, you've changed our goddamn lives. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts. We really, really do appreciate it. We appreciate everything. Jimmy, what if they wanted to talk to you? How could they do that?
You can find me at Whisman Sucks, WHISMAN Sucks on Twitter and Instagram. What about you?
I am at Jimmy P is Funny, and you can find me there. Just copy and paste my last name, and you'll find me places that way. You can just Google or do whatever the fuck you want to do. Go on the sites. I don't know. Do your shit. Thank you for hanging out with us. Hope you enjoyed the story. Next two coming up are goddamn crazy for Halloween, so buckle up, everybody.
Can't wait.
It's going to be wild, and until next week, everybody. It's been our pleasure.
Bye.
If you like Small Town Murder, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
A few miles from the glass spires of Midtown Atlanta lies the South River Forest. In 2021 and 2022, the woods became a home to activists from all over the country who gathered to stop the nearby construction of a massive new police training facility, nicknamed Cop City.
At approximately 9 o'clock this morning, as law enforcement was moving through various sectors of the property, an individual, without warning, shot a Georgia State Patrol trooper.
This is We Came to the Forest, a story about resistance.
The abolitionist mission isn't done until every prison is empty and shut down.
Love and fellowship.
It was probably the happiest I've ever been in my life.
And the lengths we'll go to protect the things we hold closest to our hearts. Follow We Came to the Forest on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus.